Chapter 2401. Seeing the scale on the stone tablet light up, everyone sucked in a deep breath and lit up. Then, a burst of exclamations broke out. It actually lit up on the 324 mark. Over 320 points in quality, quite a bit higher than the previous 200 points. One of them shouted, in other words, the testing monument from before was not broken, but the Yaoshdan that this fellow refined was of too high a quality. To think that it would be twice as good as Huang Shaoshan's. Is this for real? This quality is too scary. Huang Tian was also stunned. He had concocted pills for so many years, and had also meditated every day to improve his quality, yet his limit was only 109. Chen Shang was actually higher than him by so much. You've won. This is your reward. Huang Tian took out a jade box. Inside it was the Dao Mark Dan's pill formula and a set of high-quality medicinal ingredients. Chen Shang looked at the pill formula, checked the ingredients, and confirmed the information. Then, he accepted the ingredients. Yunfei, right, I admire your refining skills very much. I wonder if you are interested in entering our Fire Reverence School. I will make you an elder of our Fire Reverence School. Huang Tian laughed as he said this. He really wanted to learn how to refine high-quality skills. I'm not interested. It would be better if your Fire Reverence School were open with the public. Of course, I had thought that you did not plan to give me the Dao Mark Dan's pill formula. Chen Shang laughed. Brother, what do you mean by that? If you don't explain it clearly, I will treat it as an insult to our Fire Reverence School. The consequences will be severe. Huang Tian's face darkened as he said. Chen Shang immediately controlled his spirit force and struck the pill furnaces Huang Shaoshan and Fang Heng used just now, sending the two pill furnaces flying towards the crowd of people, falling amongst them. Everyone, take a look at these two pill furnaces. Are they different from the trash that everyone just used? Chen Shang sneered, and the pill furnace he used just now had already shattered after he condensed the pill. There were a lot of alchemists who went up on stage just now, as they had a very deep impression of those broken pill furnaces. But now that they saw the pill furnaces used by Fang Heng and Fang Heng, they became extremely angry. This was because the two pill furnaces looked the same on the outside, but their insides were vastly different. They were vastly different from their crappy pill furnaces. Damn, so that's how it is. It's too dark. Fire Reverence School is actually this kind of guy. He's manipulating everything in the dark. No wonder those two bastards were so calm and concocted pills. So their pill furnaces were all good stuff and they gave us trash. We were rotten before we even F***C King started. Seems like Yunfei is really capable. If Yunfei did not expose us, we would still be in the dark. If Fang Heng and Huang Shaoshan had used those broken pill furnaces, I think they would not have survived the first round like us. That's right, we might even be stronger than them. Hearing the angry complaints of many people, Huang Tian clenched his fists so hard that they began to clatter. He naturally knew of this matter, but he never thought that this, Yunfei, would actually expose it so recklessly. At this moment, Long Xuanru felt really satisfied in her heart. As long as it was someone with a little morals, they would all dislike Fire Reverence School's secret operation. She did not expect Chen Shang to be so bold as to expose it. You're fine. Huang Tian wanted to kill Chen Shang with a palm, but Long Xuanru suddenly flew up and stood beside him. Long Xuanru now really believed that Chen Shang could cure her father, so she had to protect Chen Shang no matter what. Now, she saw for herself why Chen Shang said that she was a troublemaker before. If Long Xuanru was not here, Chen Shang might have left after winning. Huang Tian saw through Long Xuanru's strength with a single glance, especially the aura that Long Xuanru had released when he was preparing to fight, which gave him a huge pressure. The originally angry Huang Tian now seemed somewhat fearful. Let's go. Long Xuanru also didn't want to fight with Huang Tian. It wasn't because she couldn't win against him, but because once they started to fight, she had no time to take care of Chen Shang, and she also had her own enemies. Looking at Chen Zhang's back figure, he seemed to have already guessed that this Yunfei was Chen Shang. You guys need to go take a look at that earth seal. Chen Shang might have already ran out long ago and brought him away. Also, didn't you guys tell Chen Shang a lot of things before? Huang Tian's voice was very low. The Fang family's elders who were sitting in the hall, upon hearing Huang Tian's words, immediately denied it, saying that they had never said anything to Chen Shang. They had indeed said a lot, and had even revealed the very important fact that Chu Hongqing was secretly cultivated by Huang Tian. If they were to admit it now, Huang Tian would definitely be furious. It's definitely impossible for him to break the seal. Don't tell me you suspect that Yunfei is Chen Shang, an old man from the Fang family said. Other than him, who else has such great alchemy skills? I heard that a few juniors from your Fang clan died yesterday, right? Don't you think that someone is targeting you? Huang Tian laughed coldly. Yunfei is definitely Chen Shang, it's just that he has hidden himself well, and he has a terrifying dragon by his side. Regarding Yunfei wanting to cure Long Xuangru's father of the poison, Huang Tian also understood a little, so he understood why Chen Shang dared to be so arrogant. Alright, let's go take a look now, an old man said. 4 hours later, they returned with expressions of shock on their faces. That's impossible, the seal of the earth is so powerful, but it's actually unable to seal a brat like him. Forget about Chen Shang, the brat who just entered the Dao Ti realm. Even if many old fellows were sealed, no one would be able to come out. Huang Tian laughed coldly. Chen Shang really came out. It seems that he has many powerful methods, we must think of a way to deal with him. Chen Shang and Long Xuangru had already quietly left the Fire Dao Divine place, and right now, it was Chen Shang who was bringing Long Xuangru far away from the Fire Dao Divine place. You really are Chen Shang. Long Xuangru saw that Chen Shang had changed back to his original youthful and handsome appearance, and said, exactly what method did you use? This makes me feel that it's very familiar. It's just a tiny spell, you don't even know what it is. Chen Shang laughed. The art of transformation, right? Long Xuangru smiled slightly. Coincidentally, I have heard of this technique before, and I know of it too. You are the white dragon, Chen Shang said in shock. The expression of Long Xuangru, who was smiling just a moment ago, instantly darkened. How do you know? Other people only know that I'm a dragon, but don't know that I'm a white dragon. Seeing Long Xuangru's wild thoughts, Chen Shang immediately laughed. Don't be so nervous, my transformation technique was taught to me by a white dragon. Later on, I heard that only the white dragon knew of it. Nonsense, I'm the only one with the white dragon. When did I teach you the art of transformation? Long Xuangru said. The transformation art is a secret technique of my dragon clan. There are a few dragons that have grasped it, but they seem to be almost dead now. At present, only my father and I understand it. Chapter 2402. Chen Shang blamed himself on the inside. He shouldn't have said that Bai Long taught him this. If you said that the other dragons taught it to you, I would believe it, but you said that it was a white dragon. Long Xuangru's tone became cold and full of hostility. You're the only one in the white dragon. Chen Shang did not expect this. Other than those guys, no one knows about the existence of the white dragon, because I'm the only one. Long Xuangru said, you must be sent by that group of people. Only they have the antidote, so you aren't poisoned. Chen Shang did not know that it would be like this, and he immediately explained it clearly. Don't be so excited. If I had sent that group of people, would I have been so stupid as to reveal such a huge opening? Chen Shang laughed. This is a long story, and you would definitely not believe it. Chen Shang suddenly felt that this Long Xuangru might be Long Shui's ancestor. He found out that the white dragon had a very special method of reproducing and that he could reproduce. In the time of the Star Law Divine Realm, Long Shui was also the only white dragon. Those guys are here, let's not talk so much with you first. Long Xuangru suddenly looked in a direction, but her expression suddenly changed. So fast, this guy is very powerful, hide quickly. Long Xuangru pushed Chen Shang behind a large tree, then took out a white longsword, which was very similar to the white dragon sword. Little girl, where is that human man? Quickly hand him over. Just as Chen Shang hid his presence, a black-clothed man appeared. Huang Profound, what do you want him to do? Is it because he can cure my father's poison? Long Xuangru actually recognized this man. Nothing much. He took away something very precious from a clan member of my clan. I just happened to pass by and heard what he said, so I came all the way here. I have to say, your speed is quite fast. Huang Profound laughed coldly. This Huang Profound was able to make Long Xuangru this cautious, so he must be very strong. He knew that the reason Huang Profound grabbed him was very likely to be to help Huang Tian snatch Chu Hongqing back. Just what is the background of this Huang Tian? He actually has such a powerful helper. Looks like the Fire Reverent School is not as simple as it seems. Chen Shang asked Chu Hongqing. I don't know either. It seems like my cauldron is very important to Huang Tian. Chu Hongqing laughed. Huang Profound took out a long blade, and said coldly, if you don't hand him over, don't blame me for being ruthless, I know he is nearby. Long Xuangru snorted, I'm not afraid of you. After saying that, the surrounding forest became filled with ice, the cold wind blew everywhere, and in the blink of an eye, everything turned into a world of ice and snow, even Chen Shang shivered from the cold. Ice Dragon's Lock, are you trying to let him find some time to escape? A huge block of ice the size of a lock appeared under Huang Profound's feet. Blue spirit grain flowed down from the top of the ice, and the moment the spirit grain moved, it released waves after waves of terrifying cold air. Yes, I know that my current strength is inferior to yours, so I can only do this. Long Xuangru formed a seal with both hands and closed his eyes. With one look, he could tell that she was using all her strength to trap Huang Profound. Chen Shang, quickly leave. I will definitely find you in the future. If you have time, refine the pill. Long Xuangru said, and did not give Chen Shang a sound transmission. After Huang Profound heard this, he laughed out loud. A guy who has just stepped into the Dao Ti realm, how far can he run? So what if you can stall me, sooner or later, I'll still find him. Why should I run? Wouldn't it be better to chop off your head? Chen Shang suddenly appeared in front of Huang Profound. Haha, you ignorant fool, with this broken sword in your hands, forget about cutting off my head, you can't even cut off my hair, otherwise Long Xuangru would have come over long ago to kill me. I don't blame you, after all, you don't know how terrifying our undead divine race is, we not only have an eternal life, we also have an indestructible body. Before Huang Profound finished speaking, Chen Shang cleaved a sword strike at his shoulder, easily slicing apart the thick layer of ice, and then, chopped off Huang Profound's arm which was at his shoulder's shoulder. It's not that amazing. This is the eternal body that you spoke of. Is it really impossible to break your hair? Chen Shang smiled, and with a wave of the heavenly magic sword in his hand, he easily turned Huang Profound into a big bald man. Huang Profound was stunned, Long Xuangru was even more so, dumbstruck. They never thought that Chen Shang would actually be so powerful. They immediately understood that it was because the heavenly magic sword in Chen Zhang's hands were extremely terrifying. Pa 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 pa. Chen Shang patted Huang Profound's bald head, and laughed, your bald head should also be easy to chop off. You must know how terrifying our undead divine race is. If you don't believe me, ask Long Xuangru, their dragon race is very afraid of us. Huang Profound's arm was bleeding. Chen Shang could easily cut off his arm, and he could also easily cut off his head. Of course I know, your undead divine race still has Sky Spill Master and Undying Battle God right, other than that, there's also the undead heaven spirit. Chen Shang laughed. Undead heaven spirit, how exactly do you know? Even I have only occasionally heard of it from my clan's elders. Huang Profound asked in shock. My master told me, alright, I've already answered so many questions. You can die in peace now. As soon as he finished speaking, the heavenly magic sword in Chen Zhang's hands had already hacked towards Huang Profound's neck, chopped his head off, and then burned inside the Chuangshi God furnace. He, the undead divine race, understood very well that if they did not destroy or seal everything in their opponent, they could be reborn. Chen Zhang's movements were nimble, he threw Huang Profound into the Chuangshi God furnace and then grabbed onto Long Xuang and teleported far away. Furthermore, he was using a spatial barrier, so Huang Profound was able to sense Long Xuangru's faint dragon aura, and that was why Huang Profound was able to trace him here. Far away from the place where Huang Profound was killed, Chen Shang brought Long Xuangru to a small river to rest. He took out Huang Profound's long blade, collided with the heavenly magic sword a few times, and was crippled. He never thought that the heavenly magic sword would still be this terrifying even in this era. Do you know the consequences of killing Huang Profound? Long Xuangru faintly asked. Since you are relatively clear about the matters of undead divine race, you should know. I don't know what the consequences will be. I only know that if I don't kill him, he will kill me in the future. He came for me this time, and I have something very important in my hands. Chen Shang said indifferently. Long Xuangru leaned against a tree, hugged his knees, and snorted, troublemaker. Chen Shang laughed heartily, I've already told you this before. Chapter 2403. Seeing that Chen Shang was still smiling so happily, Long Xuangru secretly clenched her teeth, because she knew the background of the man named Huang Profound. You're very afraid of them. What if your father recovers? Seeing Long Xuangru's worry, Chen Shang asked. It won't do if my father recovers. Our dragon clan will be split up by those fellows. Long Xuangru sighed. Our dragon clan was originally very peaceful, but because of that group of fellows, we were split into 3 factions. The faction which my father commanded was opposed to the other, while the other was neutral, and had already retreated. Your father is already like this. It seems as though his faction should be under his command. Chen Shang sighed, and did not continue. Yes, we lost very miserably, because the other side had the help of the undead divine race and our strength was far too different, so we lost. My father was also poisoned and became like this. Long Xuanru nodded. Xuanru, why didn't the undead divine race kill you? They should have had a lot of chances to kill you, but they still let you live until now. Chen Shang asked. This is a secret. Long Xuanru also knew that Chen Shang was not stupid. He must have thought of a lot of things. This guy is also hiding a lot of secrets. I have not found out about the matter of you learning the transformation techniques yet. Chen Shang laughed. In short, I'm not sent by undead divine race, and I promised you that I would help your father cure the poison. You also said that you would give me double the amount of jade money as you gave me at that time. Are you sure you can cure my father's poison? Although I know that your alchemy skills are very strong, but that poison is very strong. It is also recorded in the ancient records of our dragon clan. Many of our dragon race's experts were infected with that poison and died in the end. Long Xuanru said. Ancient book, how many years have your dragon race existed for? Chen Shang had already been suspicious about this since long ago. He believed that the current era when he was in big chaotic times should be the time when all the races had originated. It's been many years. I'm not too sure either. Anyway, there's an ancient book here. Long Xuanru shook his head. Chen Shang thought about it, then came to a conclusion. They were at the big chaotic times, but only at the later stages of the era. The poison your father was infected with is very similar to the poison I have seen before. In fact, the poison is only used against your dragon race, and my place calls it the black dragon flower poison. Legend has it that because the black dragon race was not favored by them, they created this poison to specifically take revenge on other dragons. Chen Shang replied, the black dragon race is an evil dragon in our world. Long Xuanru frowned. Black dragon, I have never seen or even heard of this white dragon before, but this white dragon of mine was also newly born. At the very beginning, there was only the green dragon, and only later on did it evolve into a dragon with a different color, and used a different type of power. Where are you? The dragons there are very different from the ones I know. Chen Shang laughed. I returned to this era from the future. Sigh, it's hard to explain in a single sentence. In short, in my era, the number of dragons were many. Although their overall strength was great, they were still inferior to humans. Quote. The future. Long Xuanru was extremely shocked, and so was Chu Hongqing. If that's true, then you should master the time laws. You came back alone or with a large group of people. Why did you return to this era? Is that not the best time of your era? Long Xuanru asked a series of questions, the same as what Chu Hongqing wanted to ask. I didn't grasp the laws of time. I only entered the laws of time by mistake, and then accidentally blended my time and this era together. That's why all the living creatures of our era have been covered here. Chen Shang laughed bitterly. Compared to you, the overall strength of our era was very weak. You must know that in the past, I was very strong. Chu Hongqing now understood why even though Chen Shang seemed to know nothing about this world, he was actually extremely shrewd and ruthless. He did not seem like a little imp who knew anything about the world. The main reason we came back was because our era was about to be destroyed. The top experts who protected our era were also unable to deal with those bastards, and they also ran back to this era. In the end, I could only do this. Chen Shang sighed. Could the guy who wants to destroy your world be the undead divine race? Long Xuanru asked. There's still one more evil spirit race, or more accurately speaking, it should be the red spirit race S. Chen Shang said, have you heard of this race before? I've heard of it. Long Xuanru sighed. There are very few red spirit race here, but they are very scary, and they are very unreasonable here, but the other races, together, can still suppress them. Why didn't the other races help when something happened to the dragon clan? Chen Shang asked. This is the cleverness of the undead divine race. He had us fight amongst ourselves and then secretly help the entire sect. This is the internal affairs of our dragon clan, no other races are allowed to interfere. Long Xuanru said. The undead divine race is starting to weaken the various races. Chen Shang replied, why is the undead divine race like this? In my era, there was a very good school of undead divine race. One of my teachers was the undead divine race. I'm not too sure either. In short, your era has merged with this one. There will definitely be a great change in how it develops in the future. Long Xuanru shook his head. After the rest ended, Chen Shang stretched his back. Where are you bringing me? Are you going to your territory? Long Xuanru said, when you return to this era, you must be very weak. You should hide your abilities well. Chen Shang nodded his head. They are not very knowledgeable about this world, especially regarding cultivation, so I have to pass on a message to them, and also that the pills here are more useful. Right now, it's still not enough. We are all being chased. If we lure that group of powerful people to your hiding place, you all will be in trouble. Long Xuanru anxiously pulled Chen Shang. If they had hidden themselves well, there's no need to worry too much about them. After all, you are once the apex existences of your generation, and have enough power to adapt to situations. Chen Shang thought about it, and felt that Long Xuanru was right. They are the undead divine race. If you know anything about them, you should know how terrifying those heavenly evolution masters are. They can track you, Long Xuanru said again. Alright, then where do we go now? Chen Shang asked. Just stay away from Fire Dao Divine Place. Long Xuanru said, then pointed in a direction, for Chen Shang to bring her there. Chen Shang had many doubts about this era. He felt that this era was not just that simple. Following Long Xuanru's guidance, he arrived at a place with many islands floating in the sky. This is Divine Sky City. There are a total of 10,000 small and large floating islands. It is a relatively strange place. If you hide inside, it would be hard to calculate where you are in the heaven extended method. Long Xuanru said. Chapter 2404. Gold House Home Page Total Clicklist Weekly Clicklist Monthly Clicklist General Collection Legacy Version Collect Golden House Set as First Page Gold Room Chinese Golden Book House /images/hjw_10.jpg Golden Room Chinese Golden Room /images/banner.jpg /images/hjw_15.jpg First Page. The articles query popular keywords. The Great King of the Daolords is sparing your life in the myth of the era of flying swords. Light blue ocean, bright yellow, handsome green, light elegant red powder, aristocratic family, white world, gray world, gold house Chinese. Author's fantasy, oriental fantasy, upgrade, cultivation, hot blood, shuang, beauty, queen, palace, martial god, elegant, ambiguous, pills, silent rogue, arrogant, pill god. More please remember the name of this site, Golden House Pride World Pill God 2404. Chen Shang looked at the countless black dots in front of him, big and small. They were floating islands, and there were even many beautiful mountains and rivers. Why isn't there a sky spill skill when I enter? Chen Shang asked as he followed behind Long Xuanru, flying towards a small dot in the sky. The sky evolution art belongs to a strange type of law, and in Divine Void City, this kind of law will lose its effectiveness. In fact, there are many laws that you cannot use. If you don't believe me, try using the space laws. Dragonfrost said. Chen Shang tried it and sure enough, he could not use it. He said in shock, as expected, it's a really mysterious place. If they can't calculate that we're here, won't they guess that we're hiding here? Quote. It doesn't matter if you guess. There are so many islands here, and every island has a lake. This lake is very strange. As long as you jump in, you can find another island. Long Xuanru smiled lightly. When we jump down, as long as we hold hands, we'll be teleported to another floating island. It's so magical. Chen Shang was immediately filled with anticipation. I've been fighting with them here for many years, but nothing happened. When the time comes, we just have to stay by the lake. Once we find them, we'll just have to jump into the lake and hide. Dragonfrost said. Chu Hongqing helped Chen Shang grow spirit seeds inside the ring, and she was not bored at all. Furthermore, Chen Shang started to teach her the inherent skill so that she could learn it. When he was flying towards the floating island, Chen Shang saw that not far away from this empty island, there was a huge plaza. What about the teleportation plaza? Asked. Other than that, he saw many people flying directly from the plaza towards the islands. Yes, the spatial laws in this area are unusable, and the teleportation formation is also based on the spatial laws, so it can only be built outside. Those who want to come here can only teleport to that teleportation plaza and then fly up here. It's the most stable, Frost Dragon said. Chu Hongqing told Chen Shang, I have been to this place before, and many merchants often go to the Fire Dao Divine Place to buy many pills, and then use this place to increase the price to sell them. The Fire Dao Divine Place was a region, and this Divine Void City was also a region. In this era, every region had their own differences. At this time, Chen Shang also wanted to know where Huang Jintian and the others were after the fusion of the two generations. Long Xuangru brought Chen Shang to a very small island in the sky. When they arrived at a lake, they could see many people jumping into the lake. Let's test our luck and see if we can reach the largest island. Long Xuang smiled mischievously, then grabbed Chen Zhang's hand and jumped into the lake. Chen Shang had thought that when he jumped in, it would be like falling into water. He didn't think that when he touched the lake's surface, he would only feel cool. We're on another island, Long Xuang smiled. Only, this isn't the largest island. Let's continue jumping into the lake. Then they came to a lake on the island, and jumped in, and so many times they jumped, until they came to a larger one, which was already very lively. Why is it that every time we appear, we are in the wilderness and not in the middle of the city? Chen Shang asked. This was determined after many tests by the predecessors, and the area that would not appear as suitable for the construction of a city. Dragonfrost said. Chen Shang said, Xuangru, quickly find a place. I'm preparing to start concocting pills, so it might take some time. Quote. Good, what a beautiful novel. Long Xuangru had quite a bit of jade money in her hands, so it was unknown where she had gotten it from as she bought a house not far from where Hu Dichang was. Chen Shang was also in a hurry to refine the Three Lotuses divine pill. When he entered the secret room, he immediately started to condense the purple pearls and copied the 3 lotus seeds for the 3 lotuses divine pill. Then, he would use 6 realms God cup and spirit seeds to raise the quality of the 3 pellets. All of this was for Chu Hongqing to do. What treasure is this? This is too incredible, to be able to turn 3 lotus seeds into king-level medicinal herbs in an instant. Chu Hongqing was shocked. Chen Shang personally taught her how to do it. So fast. Chen Shang also didn't think about it. Okay, make a copy. You might need a lot of pills to cure that dragon's poison. Chen Shang took out the creation god furnace and began to refine the 3 lotus pellet. Moreover, he was already extremely familiar with the 3 lotus divine pills, and now, he only needed to get familiar with the new high-leveled medicinal ingredients to concoct the pills, and 3 of them at that. After 10 days, he finally succeeded and walked out of the secret room. Xuangru. Chen Shang knocked on Long Xuangru's door. She had passed by Chen Shang, so if they came out, they would knock on her door. Not inside. Chen Shang went into the hall and saw that Long Xuangru had coincidentally come back from outside. She had even used a transformation technique to turn into an old woman. Long Xuang returned to her original form, laughing. You seem to be able to see that I'm using the transformation technique. Of course, I can see a lot of things. Chen Zhang's Dao Heart Eye was very strong, he could even break open the evil spirit clan's invisibility. I've already refined the pill. Let your father try to see if he can cure the poison. If not, I'll think of another way. Chen Shang said. So fast. Long Xuangru still thought that Chen Shang would need a few years to refine it, because Chen Shang had told her that that kind of pill was extremely difficult to refine. I've refined it for more than 10 days, and it's still going fast. Chen Shang laughed, and quickly gave it a try. Long Xuang knew that antidote pills usually required a long time to concoct because she had tried out a lot of antidote pills for her father and found many alchemists to concoct them. Chen Shang and Long Xuangru came to a relatively large secret room. Long Xuang took out the crystal ice coffin, and melted the icy cold power on top of it. Chen Shang, during the Heavenly Dao auction, the things you did were spread all the way here. Huang Tian seemed to have already known you were Chen Shang and was putting bounties on you everywhere. Long Xuangru said, the undead divine race is relatively calm. Don't tell me they didn't know you killed Huang Zan. Long Xuang had been out asking around for news these past few days. She wanted to know what actions the undead divine race would take, but even now, she looked very calm, as if Huang Zan hadn't been killed. Eat one first, Chen Shang said, I'm not afraid of poison. After dispersing the frozen ice, a black mist rose up from Long Xuang's body like her father, causing the poison to spread even faster. Chen Shang placed the 3 lotus divine pill into the black mouth, and quickly reacted. His originally black face now gradually turned white. When Long Xuang saw it, she immediately became excited. It's working. What's your father's name? Just how strong is he, to be able to become a leader? Chen Shang also heaved a sigh of relief. The 3 lotus god pellet was indeed powerful. Long Ju Xiao, Dragonfrost said. Hearing this name, Chen Shang couldn't help but be taken aback. He was thinking, what does this Long Ju Xiao not have to do with the heavenly divine lord? Little Lion Book Alliance. Chapter 2405. Long Ju Xiao's face gradually recovered, but he quickly stopped. Seeing this, Chen Shang immediately took out another 3-lotus divine pill and placed it in his mouth. After eating the second pellet, Long Ju Xiao's face turned bloody. Then, Chen Shang gave the third pellet to him to eat, only then did he expel all the poison from his body. Long Xuangru secretly admired Chen Shang. She had traveled everywhere for many years and spent all sorts of effort, yet after Chen Shang had spent more than 10 days to refine 3 pills, she managed to cure her father's poison. An hour later, Long Ju Xiao suddenly opened his eyes. Although he looked to be in high spirits, Chen Shang and Long Xuangru knew that he had not fully recovered. Xuangru, Long Ju Xiao shouted. He felt that his entire body was sore, as if he had slept for a long time. Because the position he took while sleeping wasn't right, it was very uncomfortable. Dad, you're finally better. Long Xuangru hastily threw herself into Long Ju Xiao's embrace as she sobbed softly. In order to cure her father of his poison, she had gone through countless hardships, spending many days and nights by herself. Hello, uncle, Chen Shang laughed. You, human. Long Ju Xiao frowned because the dragon race rarely walked with humans. Father, he's the one who cured you of that poison. He's an incredible apothecary, Long Xuangru hastily replied. Really? Long Ju Xiao was already able to stand up. He was a very robust middle-aged man, standing there like a small mountain. Those bastards specifically made this poison to deal with our dragon race. They use the black dragon blood to grow a flower as the main ingredient. Long Ju Xiao replied, this poison is very powerful. Many experts of our dragon race died from it, unable to detoxify themselves for a long time. I never thought that it would be broken today by a human being's pill. Long Ju Xiao patted on Chen Zhang's shoulder, making Chen Shang feel as if his shoulder was about to break. Little demon of the human race, you have a future. I, Long Ju Xiao, owe you my life. Long Ju Xiao said. Chen Shang was thinking that the black dragon flower poison should have already existed, it was just that someone intentionally allowed the black dragon to be used in the Star Law Divine realm. The powers behind it could very likely be the undead divine race and the evil spirit race. This is your reward. Long Xuangru gave Chen Shang a storage bag. Inside it were many jade plates, as well as the credentials to receive the jade coins from the bank. There was a total of 4 billion. At this moment, he remembered that he still had 1 billion jade coins he won in the Immortal Bank and hadn't received yet. Having made such a huge profit in one go, Chen Shang did not know what to do. Now, he knew that the Dragon clan was extremely rich, and did not feel any heartache at all. After that, Chen Shang and Long Xuangru were chatting casually in the past, but when they heard that Chen Shang had killed Huangzan, Long Ju Xiao was ecstatic. After that, he found out that Chen Shang had come from the future and merged the two eras together. Chen Shang, if you are from the future, then you don't have to worry about the undead divine race's sky evolution technique at all. Because you don't belong in this world, they can't even count you as a part of it. Long Ju Xiao laughed. Dad, Chen Shang has a very powerful broken sword. Huangzan was cut to death by that broken sword. Long Xuang said, you are proficient in artifact forging and setting up formations. Help him see if he can repair that sword. Once Long Xuangru finished, Chen Shang took it out immediately. He kept having the feeling that this Long Ju Xiao and the Heavenly Divine Lord had some kind of strange relationship. Heavenly Divine Lord was also proficient in artifact forging, and very powerful. Currently, this Long Ju Xiao was also here, but he was a dragon and a dragon, a dragon and a dragon, a human from the Heavenly Divine Lord. Long Ju Xiao took it over and examined it carefully. He immediately frowned. Very strong, and it makes me feel very familiar with it. Quote. Soon after, a ray of light shot out from between his eyebrows and landed on the sword hilt. The hilt immediately lit up and 2 ancient characters, 9th heaven, appeared. Father, why would your words appear on this sword? Could it be that you refined it? Long Xuangru said in surprise. My handwriting, but the power used to brand this word is completely different from mine. This human's power. Long Ju Xiao saw Chen Shang. Do you know who refined this? I only know that man's name is Heavenly Divine Lord. He is already dead. Chen Shang took out another 9 heavens divine furnace. This was something Shui Shenxian and the others refined according to the blueprints in the 9 heavens divine manual. Uncle, look at this. Chen Shang said, this was refined by A, and it was recorded in his book. Long Ju Xiao took it and looked at it. There are many array patterns that I created. Could it be that the Heavenly Divine Lord obtained my inheritance later? But it doesn't make sense either. Even if he obtained my inheritance, he wouldn't be able to be branded with this name. It's the same as mine, and only my soul can make this name appear. Long Ju Xiao was very puzzled. Uncle, could it be that you have reincarnated and become a human? Chen Shang said. It's very possible that if you didn't appear, I would have already died. Long Ju Xiao laughed. It should be like that. I never thought that after I reincarnated, I would still be so powerful and could refine such a thing. Chen Shang was a little speechless. This Long Ju Xiao was too easy to accept. Father, can you recover it? Long Xuangru asked. Sure, just a little time. Long Ju Xiao asked. Chen Shang, you also came with you in the dragon clan. How many are there? Quote. It's quite small, tens of thousands. Chen Shang said. Tens of thousands is considered little. We have less than 1,000 dragons. Long Ju Xiao was startled. Hurry up and take me to them. I can help them become stronger. Long Xuangru was also shocked. There would be so many dragons in the future. Chen Shang had also previously known that the faction led by Long Ju Xiao had already been annihilated, leaving behind only the father and daughter pair. Chen Shang also wanted to go back now and bring back the pill formulas he learned. This way, he could make them stronger faster. Chen Shang, you, change techniques, was taught to you by a white dragon. What is your relationship with that white dragon? Long Xuang didn't believe it before, but now she believed it. My wife was also poisoned by that poison. I learned how to concoct the 3 lotus godly pill after that. Chen Shang laughed. When you see her, she might be very excited too, because in our era, the struggles within the dragon race were very intense. Bai Long was killed until she was the only one left. Chapter 2406. Chen Shang did not know what kind of power the heavenly magic sword would have after it was repaired, but even though it was damaged, the power was extremely terrifying. YBDU. Long Ju Xiao said that he could fix it, but it would take a lot of time, and right now, Chen Shang could not lack heavenly magic sword either. This was his counter-attack weapon, so after thinking about it, he decided not to fix it. Chen Shang brought Long Ju Xiao and the others on their journey to the forest. Not long after he left, he hoped that nothing would happen there. When he left the forest, he did not enter the Dao Ti realm, and the spatial energy he used at that time was extremely limited, but it was different now. He was already much stronger than before, and even when he brought Long Xuangru and Long Ju Xiao with him on the journey back, his speed was still much faster than before. In just 2 months, they had returned to the Great Heavenly Star region from the Divine Sky City. Everything was fine here, but when they found out that Chen Shang had returned, they were extremely happy. When Zhu Kanghai saw Long Ju Xiao, he was completely stunned, his face full of shock, but Long Ju Xiao did not recognize him. Chen Shang immediately understood that this Long Ju Xiao must be the same as the Heavenly Divine Lord, so Zhu Kanghai thought that he was his own father. After that, Chen Shang gave a simple explanation, and only then did Zhu Kanghai understand. He felt extremely excited to be able to see his father's past life. Long Ju Xiao was very strong. The patriarchs and elders that came with the dragon clan almost couldn't stand steadily when they saw Long Ju Xiao, because they could feel the strong dragon power in Long Ju Xiao's body. Hundreds of Flowers Village only came to LV Kilian, and other than them, there were also the patriarchs of Cat Race, Star Moon Divine Race and Undead Divine Race, and then there were the All-Beast Divine Lord and Azure Dragon, the 4 great divine beasts. While Long Ju Xiao was on the road, he had heard Chen Shang talk about the things that happened here, especially the fact that the people here were weak. This was also because the era was different. Chen Shang first introduced the people here to Long Ju Xiao, then introduced Long Ju Xiao's identity to the crowd. Everyone was very surprised to know that it was from Heavenly Divine Palace's previous life. As for the elders and the chief of the dragon race, they were very happy because these were powerful divine dragons from the ancient era. If they were to lead them, they would definitely become even more powerful. Because Long Ju Xiao had lost in battle, he did not have any helpers by his side, so he was currently discussing with the dragon clan. He hoped that he could lead the dragon clan and work together with the various forces here to protect and develop everyone. In this big chaotic times, it was not bad to have Long Ju Xiao protecting them. Furthermore, this Long Ju Xiao was saved by Chen Shang, so everyone was at ease. In terms of cultivation, Long Ju Xiao had many rich surprises, which could coincidentally guide everyone. At this time, Chen Shang was also bringing Long Xuangru to the Hundreds of Flowers village. Just as he arrived at Hundreds of Flowers village, Chen Shang saw Long Shui playing with a beautiful young lady in white. He had seen this young lady in white once before, the little kid in UAA. After that, Chen Shang called for Chu Hongqing to come out from the ring. Long Shui saw that Chen Shang had brought back 2 beautiful girls, but she was not surprised. If Chen Shang had left for so long, she would have thought it was strange if he did not bring back the girls. Little scoundrel, Long Shui and Yue shouted while laughing. Chen Shang immediately teleported over to pinch their mouths. Long Xuangru had a good impression of him and he didn't want to let these 2 little girls ruin him. Little scoundrel, Long Xuangru smiled as he walked to Long Shui's side. Then, he caressed Long Shui's pretty and cute face. You're Long Shui. Sister, who are you? It can't be that you're having an affair with that little scoundrel as well, right? Long Shui could feel that Long Xuangru was very powerful. Elder sister, you're so powerful, you definitely won't think much of this little scoundrel. Don't be fooled by him. Little naughty dragon, she is your ancestor, the only white dragon of this era. As Chen Shang spoke, he reached out and pinched Long Shui's cheek with all his might. Don't speak ill of me. Really, so you're saying that all of my memories came from her? Long Shui said in shock. I didn't think that I would be able to meet my ancestors so soon. Yue, in order to prevent Chen Shang from pinching her, transformed into a palm-sized kitten. It then flew into Chu Hongqing's embrace and mewed a few times, before asking, who is this big sister? It also seems to be very powerful. Quote, she's my maid, so she lost the bet. Chen Shang laughed, I'll bring her to the pill refining team. You guys take Xuangru out here for a stroll, right? Let her go see Yulin. She also has her white dragon vein. Quote, elder sister, follow me. Long Shui called Yue over, then pulled Long Xuangru along a small path. Chu Hongqing followed Chen Shang down another path. Young master, why did they call you little scoundrel? Chu Hongqing asked in a low voice. That's them discrediting me, don't believe them. Chen Shang laughed. They passed by an orchard and saw a tall lady in a purple dress. Elder brother Shen, the lady was Shui Bingyan, she hurried over. Bingyan, long time no see. Chen Shang touched her cheeks and laughed. Shui Bingyan was innocent and looked extremely pure. She blushed and smiled. Elder brother Shen, did you see more interesting things coming back from the outside this time? Alright, I'll take you out for a walk when I have time. I still have things to do with Sister Feng and the others. You can continue picking the fruits. Chen Shang even took out a few strange things he had bought during the heavenly mystery to give her to play with. Thank you, elder brother Shen. Shui Bingyan smiled sweetly. After leaving the orchard far behind, Chu Hongqing laughed. This Hundreds of Flowers village is a beauty park, all kinds of beauties, you often run around here, don't you want to do something bad? Quote, how would I dare? The boss of Hundreds of Flowers village is my wife. If I were to mess around here, I would be scolded to death by her. Chen Shang brought Chu Hongqing to a courtyard. The moment they entered, they saw Wu Qianqin drying the herbs there. Qianqin, where are they? Chen Shang laughed. Chen Shang, you're back. They are all busy with their own things. Wu Qianqin looked at Chu Hongqing who was behind Chen Shang, and smelled something softly. Who is this? I'm accepting a new servant, just like Warm Moon Shangyu, they are my female slaves. Chen Shang laughed. She is also from Alchemist, and her level is not bad. She has a better understanding of the pills here. I let her stay here, this way you guys can have a better understanding of the pills from this era. I'll go and call them out now. Wu Qianqin immediately put down the work at hand and took out a jade talisman to send the message. Before long, the entire pill refining team had rushed to the center of the hall, while Chen Shang was copying the Dao Mark Dan's pill formulas. Chapter 2407. Pure Text Online. Read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read please visit. Although the Yaozdan was the most commonly seen pill in Fire God Land, but a high-level Yaozdan was of great help to the people here in their development phase. Right now, Chen Shang was concealing how to refine Yaozdan and was explaining how the Hundreds of Flowers village could become stronger as he refined. There should be quite a few purple pearls in the 3 ingredients for this scar pill. We'll make a copy and keep it. Chen Shang. Hand it over. Feng Yuji took it and quickly copied out a portion of the purple pearl before giving it back to Chen Shang. These pill formulas will be used to reference and be produced now. Chen Shang gave Feng Yuji another jade token. Su Meiyao, you're in such a hurry to leave. He just came back. Just keep you company. She was looking at Chen Shang with her passionate and seductive eyes. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. Wait until we find Shenxian and some things for us tonight. Shui Shenxian and the others were busy refining all kinds of defensive array discs. Chen Shang also had a lot of lightning dragon eagle bones and scales. This was a refining material that he had bought at the Heaven Gathering. It's all good stuff. Every time I come back, I always bring a lot of these things with me. Shui Shenxian was very happy when he saw the pile of materials. When the dragon clan arrives, we should be able to go to the dragon orb to look for it. We'll just do our best to make Xuangru stay in the Hundreds of Flowers village and ask her for guidance from time to time. Chen Shang laughed. It's unfortunate that we previously thought that the Divine Book had many unsolved problems. I never thought that we would actually be able to meet the Heavenly Divine Lord in his previous life. Lu Meng'er was very happy. Is there news of Darling's father? Shu Yuqing asked. For the time being, father is still a ghost. Nothing will definitely happen to him. Chen Shang caressed it. I will definitely find it, do not worry. Chen Shang also really wanted to find Huang Jintian. This could only wait until they become stronger. In the following month, Chen Shang spent the night with his woman, enjoying her leisure. During the day, he would run around everywhere and brag about his old friends. Long Juxiao was also here with the others, getting along very well, while Long Xuanru stayed in the Hundreds of Flowers village. This time, Long Shui and Leng Yulin kept him here to teach him many powerful techniques. During this time, Chen Shang had the girls in the Hundreds of Flowers village condense many purple pearls for her to use to duplicate Qiwan Dan's medicinal herbs. Thinking about the Fang family, she felt extremely uncomfortable and wanted to go back to take revenge. After that, Chen Shang also wanted to leave and give the Fang family some face. Because Chu Hongqing was himself well versed in medicine and had a better understanding of the world, he passed down his own knowledge to Feng Yuji and the others. After bidding farewell to everyone, Chen Shang immediately teleported towards the direction of the Divine Void City. After staying in Hundreds of Flowers village for over a month, Chu Hongqing had become more and more knowledgeable about Chen Zhang's situation. He did not expect that he, who was also a female slave, would actually return Hua Shangyu and his wife despite being like that. The little bastards will be leaving the bed when we go back next time. Chu Hongqing laughed tenderly. I think that's impossible. How difficult. Chen Shang chuckled. You guys get along pretty well. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have been able to cultivate the alive slain method. It's too late now. Chu Hongqing felt that it was a pity that he had already experienced the might of alive slain method. It won't be too late at all. Can eat 9 yin and yang dan s to convert all of their divine deity into life-killing divine deity. Chen Shang, before this, all of our divine deity s also stopped transforming. Really, we are already taught how to use the alive slain method. Chu Hongqing was pleasantly surprised. Do you need 9 yin and yang dan s to be able to refine it? They should have given us quite a bit of the medicinal ingredients. Chen Shang had instructed Feng Yuji to teach him how to refine more special pills. How many pills do you need? Chu Hongqing asked. We only gave them over 100. I need a lot of them. It would not be good to refine it now. At that time, when we earn enough jade money, we can also buy 2 types of 9 yin and yang dan s as medicinal ingredients. However, people only know that they can be used to concoct pills. Chen Shang, of course the best way is for the Yaozdan to improve and integrate into the Yaozdan faster. Chen Shang spent more than 20 days to reach the Divine Void City. Although Long Xuanru was not by his side, he was not worried about the undead divine race taking revenge on him. Right now, the most important things were the Fang family and the Fire Reverend School. If they wanted to get rid of these 2 loathsome powers, they would have to use a very strong seal to suppress them. Chen Shang came to a small island in the Divine Void City. Long Xuanru had previously bought a house here, and it was right in the middle of the house. Do you want to mass refine Qiwan Dan now? Chu Hongqing asked what happened. Right now, Chen Shang did not want to refine pills, because there were too few of them. Of course, he had also made great progress now. He could refine 3 Qiwan Dan of Heaven stage within 2 hours. Yes, but first we need to inquire about the current situation of the Fang family and the Fire Reverend School. After Chen Shang confirmed that the mansion had visited, he ran out to look for information. After 4 hours of investigation, they found out that the Fang family and the Fire Reverend School had teamed up to do extremely despicable things. The Fang family and the Fire Reverent School only have this much. All of you, wait. Chen Shang was furious. He wanted to take care of the Fang family first, because the 3 elders of the Fang family were sealed up that day. Chapter 2408. Pure Text Online. Read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read please visit. Returning to the old house, Chen Shang calmed the anger in his heart and prepared to refine the Qiwan Dan. He had gotten a lot of purple pearls from the Hundreds of Flowers village. Hongqing, does the Fang family have any big enemies? Chen Shang asked. How is his enemy's strength? Let me think. There is one who is also a very strong power. Not only is he a great enemy of the Fang family, his relationship with the Fire Reverent School is also very bad. Chu Hongqing said, you want to cooperate with this power. I do have this thought. Only by doing this can the Fang family and the Fire Reverent School vomit even more blood. Chen Shang was still very weak right now, so it would be difficult for him to fight the Fire Reverent School and Fang family alone. That might be difficult, not everyone can work with them, and they don't intend to work with anyone. Chu Hongqing said, because they are not human, they can be considered demons, they all grew up from beasts, plants, stones and so on. Quote, are they considered to be one of the stronger forces in this region? Chen Shang asked. Of course, many powers only have deals with them, but their relationship can't be said to be very good. On the other hand, the Fire Reverent School and the Fang family are different. I've heard that they've once captured their little demons. Chu Hongqing said, but you can try, since you have many tricks up your sleeve. We'll talk about it after I refine more Qiwan Dan. At least on this aspect, I can give the Fang family a huge blow. Chen Shang said. He used the Dawen refining method to refine 100 Qiwan Dan every day, and over the course of 1 month, he managed to refine 3,000 of them. Furthermore, he had heard that the Fang family only provided 1,000 Qiwan Dan every month, and he was 3 times more than the Fang family. I still can't sell it. I'll go find that demon clan first. Chen Shang said, let's see if we can cooperate with them first. Under Chu Hongqing's guidance, Chen Shang left Divine Void City and arrived in a forest. The trees in this forest were all extremely tall and lofty. Every single tree was as tall as the heavens, and the demons of the demonic clan were all living in caves on top of the trees. This place is called Demon Forest. There are many humans here too. Chu Hongqing said, the powerful demonic beast that manages this place, is located in the biggest tree in the middle. Chen Shang walked for a good half a day before finally reaching the center. He saw a big tree, but it was not a tree that anyone could casually enter. I heard that the strongest in this demon forest is a group of tree ants. Although they are powerful, they are very easy to talk to. First, ask the guards if they can meet the tree ant emperor. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Shang walked closer to the big tree, towards a big tree cave. Is something the matter? One of the guards asked, his tone and attitude very good. I have a big deal to talk about with you guys. I am an alchemist and have some pills to sell in, this is the Qiwan Dan. Chen Shang said in a low voice. Oh, that's true, the guard asked. Of course it's true, I'm not so bored as to tease you. Chen Shang laughed. Demons also needed to eat pills, and there were alchemists amongst them. However, they weren't as proficient in pills as humans, so they were still dependent on pills. Qiwan Dan could help raise Daoyuan Immortal Power S, and if you eat more, it could also help you increase your realm quickly. There were a lot of Daoyuan Realm S here. If it was a high-level Qiwan Dan, cultivators of a higher realm would also be in great need, which was why the Fang family had such a status. Chen Shang was invited to enter. After entering the big tree, he felt very cool and was arranged to stay in a small hall. Not long after, a benevolent-looking old man came to meet him. It seemed that his strength was quite good, but he was not born with that sort of power, so he didn't give people any pressure. Hello, senior. Chen Shang bowed politely. No need to be polite, you said that you have Qiwan Dan to sell, that's all. The old man chuckled and asked. 1,000, Chen Shang said. Oh, are you a member of the Fang family? The old man's narrowed eyes opened slightly. No, Chen Shang laughed, I am an enemy of the Fang family. Looks like you are Chen Shang. To be able to refine a Qiwan Dan and also be the Fang family's enemy, you should be the only one. The old man laughed. Chen Shang turned his face back, revealing his original appearance. The old man chuckled, so it's like that. You came to find us because you want to fight against the Fang family, right? That's right, we're not going to fight against the Fang family, but rather, we're going to suppress the Fang family's Qiwandan. Chen Shang said, I can refine quite a few Qiwandan and I don't have any sales channels. You monster race must have many channels in this area in the human world over the years, so I feel that it's better to form an alliance with you. Of course, I'm here for your protection as well. The old man nodded his head. It's already been pretty good for you to refine 1,000 Qiwandan from the day of the Heavenly Law auction. However, I'm very curious, where did you get so many medicinal ingredients? Only the Fang family has such ingredients. I stole it from the Fang family. Chen Shang laughed, because in order to discredit him, the Fang family had spread the news of him stealing the Fang family's Qiwandan's medicinal ingredients. In the future, you don't need to take the risk of stealing the Fang family's medicinal ingredients. We have them. The old man thought for a moment, then said, right now, all 1,000 of your Qiwandan are of low-grade heaven ranked. We will buy them with 1,000 jade money each. After that, you help us refine another Qiwandan. We'll give you the medicinal ingredients. If you refine one, we'll give you 400 jade money as compensation. What do you think? He didn't need to buy the ingredients himself, so it was definitely a worthwhile task. And for the spirit demon race to be so generous, they must have obtained a lot of Qiwandan's medicinal ingredients. What if I can only refine one pellet of each medicinal ingredient? Will you give me the reward of 400 jade money as well? Chen Shang asked. That's right, if you fail, we won't pursue this matter any further. Regarding your matter, we also know that you can refine 5 pellets in one furnace, at least 3, and we have a large amount of Qiwandan's medicinal ingredients. The old man said, if we can refine it quickly, we can suppress the Fang family even faster. They were treemen, so they definitely knew how to quickly grow the herbs, so they had planted a lot of Qiwandan's herbs, but no matter what, they could not refine them. Now that Chen Shang had come, he could just as well refine a large amount of medicinal ingredients that they had accumulated into pills. With the rewards that they had given Chen Shang 400 jade money and with him selling another 800 or even 700, it would be worth it. Alright, Chen Shang agreed, which was a good thing for him. Chapter 2409. Chen Shang sold 1,000 Qiwandan pills to the Treant clan elder. He still had 2,000 left, and that was for him to eat. Treant elder gave Chen Shang 1,000 batches of Qiwandan's medicinal herbs. Chen Shang gave Chu Hongqing 100 batches, which was something she could practice on, and now that Chu Hongqing was able to refine 3 pills per furnace, the quality was also not bad. If she could refine a few more batches, her control over the Qiwandan would be much better, and producing 4 to 5 pellets would not be too difficult. But when Chen Shang refined them himself, he could produce 5 pellets each time. However, he would leave 1 pellet for himself and give 4 to the Treant clan. Together, we will complete it in a month. Chen Shang said to Chu Hongqing, Elder Tree has set a standard for me, these 1,000 sets of medicinal ingredients, I must at least help him refine 3,000 Qiwandan. Rest assured, I can produce at least 3 pills per furnace. Chu Hongqing laughed. This was a good opportunity, so he did not need to worry about wasting medicinal ingredients. These medicinal ingredients were all provided free of charge. If he could refine Qiwandan, he could still obtain jade money s. Of course, Chen Shang did not lack jade money s for the time being. He still had a few billion on him that he did not know how to spend. He had refined this Qiwandan purely to strike a blow at the Fang family. Chen Shang was also in the big tree in the middle of Demon Forest. The elder tree had arranged for him a very spacious secret room. In order to ensure that the pill would be out, Chu Hongqing refined it slowly. She was definitely not like Chen Shang. Now, Chen Shang was controlling 10 pill furnaces to refine. He could refine 10 batches of Qiwandan s in 2 hours and 100 batches in a day. Only now did Chu Hongqing realize the disparity between him and Chen Shang. It had only been 10 days, and he had already finished refining those 1,000 sets of medicinal herbs. Chen Shang had refined a total of 900 sets of medicinal herbs and 4,500 pills. Chu Hongqing had also made great progress in concocting the first few batches of pills, but she had managed to refine more than 350 Qiwandan pills out of the 100 batches of medicinal herbs she had concocted. I can only give granduncle 3,000 pills. That's not a good idea. Chu Hongqing felt very sorry when he found out that Chen Shang had refined so many pills. In any case, this is a standard that he gave me. By saying this to me, he is also telling me that I can take away some Qiwandan and keep it for myself. Chen Shang said, being able to refine so much in such a short period of time, they will definitely be happy. If you had a lot of medicinal ingredients, I really can't imagine how strong you would be. Chu Hongqing lamented. Even though Chen Shang had passed down the magic method furnace technique to her, she still did not know how to use it yet. After Chen Shang let Chu Hongqing enter the Yuyao ring, he walked out of the secret room and found Elder Tree. Previously, he had told that Elder Tree that he would probably go into closed-door cultivation for a month, and now that he had come out earlier, the Elder Tree thought that Chen Shang came out because he was too bored. Hee, are young people not used to this kind of closed-door training? It's not bad to come out and have some fun. The Elder Tree laughed. The last time you sold us 1,000 Qiwandan, it already made the Fang family very unhappy. The effect is not bad. Elder Tree, here, Chen Shang laughed and handed over a storage bag. 3,000 Qiwandan were just refined. This will definitely make the Fang family even more unhappy. Elder Tree was startled, then quickly took it and checked it, immediately becoming overjoyed. What a miracle, you can refine so many of them in such a short period of time, you really are an alchemist genius. The Elder Tree was very happy. He then took out the jade money and gave it to Chen Shang. This is 1,200,000 jade money, you can go to the Eternal Life Native Bank here to receive it. There were Eternal Life Native Banks in the Demon Forest, and Eternal Life Native Banks existed in many large cities. Elder Tree, you must have used your own innate abilities to grow medicinal herbs very quickly, right? If there's not enough heaven-rank Qiwandan, if there are heaven-rank middle, upper tier, or even king-rank Qiwandan, the Fang family will be worried. Chen Shang laughed. I wonder if you guys have any of these medicinal ingredients. Of course there is. Are you going to refine it now? Elder Tree laughed. Looks like I've underestimated you. You can actually bear with loneliness. This is 1,000 sets of mediocre and high-quality medicinal ingredients. When you come out of seclusion, I will give you more king-stage Qiwandan's medicinal ingredients. Quote, I'll give you 1,000 middle-grade heaven-stage jade money you have to make sure you can refine at least 2,000 of them. I'll give you 3,000 high-grade heaven-rank jade money and you'll have to refine at least 1,000 of them. Quote, this Elder Tree also knew that the higher the grade, the more difficult it would be to refine, and the amount of pills that would be produced would definitely decrease. No problem. Chen Shang took the herbs and immediately ran into the secret room. Since you took on so many of them in one go, when will you be able to finish refining them? Chu Hongqing was extremely shocked. I'm only confident in my ability to refine lower tier pills, not middle tier and upper tier. Why not? The medium-grade heaven-step medicinal pills are about the same as the high-grade pills. Just give yourself some self-confidence. The pill refining techniques that I have taught you are very powerful. Moreover, your cultivation is much higher than mine. Chen Shang gave her 200 sets of middle and upper-graded ingredients. Get it done in a month. This is a mission I gave you, otherwise I will spank your butt. Chen Shang laughed. Chu Hongqing felt that this was something that was impossible to accomplish. This was a middle and upper rank Qiwandan, although she was a middle rank king-level alchemist, to refine so many of them all at once and even ensure the quantity of their pills was out of the question, she felt that it was very difficult. Chu Hongqing came out from the serene demon ring, looked at the herbs that Chen Shang had placed on the ground and asked, my good master, how many of the middle-ranked and high-ranked Qiwandan will you produce in a single pot? At least 5 pills. As long as I finish refining these, I will have a lot of Qiwandan. In the future, let us eat them for a while. The moment I step into the Dao Yuan realm, I will be able to improve by leaps and bounds. Chen Shang laughed. Then how much time do you need to forge a cauldron? Chu Hongqing had just asked, when he immediately gave his answer. She only saw Chen Shang holding a portion of the medicinal ingredients, his eyes releasing 2 streams of flames, and then the medicinal ingredients held in his hands were immediately refined, instantly transforming into a large ball of medicinal liquid. After which, he was split into 5 balls, and in the end formed 5 Qiwandan, which were almost completed in an instant. Chu Hongqing was completely dumbstruck. She thought she had seen wrongly, she had never seen such a method of pill refinement. Master, what did you do just now? Chu Hongqing was extremely shocked. This is my most powerful pill refining technique. After I've refined the same pill many times, every step and every detail of this pill will be known to me. With just a thought, 2 rays of spiritual energy will shoot out from my eyes. Chen Shang said. When he was refining the bone-level Dan, this technique was very powerful, instantly forming a pellet. Chapter 2410. Chu Hongqing was shocked because if she wanted to concoct a batch of pills, she would need at least 2 hours. But Chen Shang had solved the problem in an instant, and even took out 5 of the pills. Don't just stand there. Hurry up and start. Treat it as practice. It doesn't matter if all of them fail. Chen Shang laughed as he took out many jade boxes and placed the ingredients one by one inside. Beside the ingredients were the flesh and blood of the lightning dragon eagle. Qiwan Dan required Daoyuan immortal power, so he still had to use the flesh of a savage beast in order to successfully refine it. Although Chu Hongqing was envious of Chen Shang, she knew such a method only by Chen Shang, and the heaven's refinement art that he taught her was already very powerful. Furthermore, this was a good opportunity, so she wouldn't miss it and immediately start refining the Qiwan Dan. In a month's time, Chen Zhang's predictions were extremely accurate. He had already refined all of the spirit ingredients into Qiwan Dan, and at the beginning, Chu Hongqing was not very confident in herself, but in the end, she finally experienced the greatness of the heavens refining technique. It was able to make her very stable and able to refine 4 pellets per furnace, whether it was top or middle, it made no difference to the current her. I told you it was easy. Chen Shang laughed, pinched Chu Hongqing's face, and then counted how many Qiwan Dan they had. 4,900 of the heaven rankers, and 4,800 of the heaven rankers. Elder Tree had said that it would cost at least 2,000 pills, and the one-up would be 1,000. Therefore, Chen Shang could still draw a lot. To him, this was a place where he could make a huge profit. Isn't this a bit too much? Seeing how little Chen Shang gave to Elder Shi, Chu Hongqing felt a little apologetic in her heart. Hongyi, you might not know how many medicinal herbs they have. Tree Ant tribe members must have mastered the ability to quickly grow medicinal ingredients, so there was no need to worry about this. These medicinal ingredients were already trash in their hands, so they could obtain as many Qiwan Dan as they wanted. Chen Shang said, right now, we are helping them turn trash into treasures, that's why we are already very generous. Elder Mu knew that Chen Shang would swallow quite a lot of them himself, so he gave him a minimum standard. To him, these medicinal herbs had already been stored for a long time, it was already very good if he could become a Qiwan Dan. Chen Shang walked out of the secret room and handed the group of Qiwan Dan in his hands over to Elder Shi. Elder Shi gave him 5 million jade coins, this little jade money was nothing to him. On the other hand, they could use these Qiwan Dan to compete with the Fang family, and by suppressing the price, the amount of jade money the Fang family could earn from the Qiwan Dan would be less. Our demon forest has more and more people. Hee, all of this is thanks to little brother's Qiwan Dan that you refined, which attracted a lot of people to come here. Our Qiwan Dan is much cheaper than the Fang family's. Chen Shang, it must be hard for you to refine a Qiwan Dan by yourself, but we need to do this for a long time in order for the Fang family to receive heavy injuries. Chen Shang immediately understood what the tree elder meant. They wanted Chen Shang to pass on the method to refine the Qiwan Dan to them. The conditions are fine, I know that you have that kind of ability, so I'm sure you won't put the jade money in your eyes. Tell me, what conditions do you need to be willing to share the Qiwan Dan's secret with us? There are many outstanding pill refiners in our demon forest. Refining Qiwan Dan is stuck at that most important step. Chen Shang sat on a chair and thought. I need Dao Mark Dan's medicinal herbs now. You tree ant monsters definitely have a way to quickly grow them, and Dao Mark Dan's medicinal herbs are at the king level. I wonder how long will it take for you to grow them in bulk with your current speed? Chen Shang asked. Elder Mu had almost forgotten that Chen Shang had used the name Yunfei to participate in the Conclave of Heavenly Secrets pill refining competition. At that time, Chen Shang had won the Dao Mark Dan's pill formula and a set of medicinal ingredients. As for the medicinal ingredients listed, how many medicinal ingredients does the Dao Mark Dan have? Elder Tree asked. 3, Chen Shang said, we can help you get 100 sets of ingredients a month. Elder Tree calculated and said, how do you want to trade? Actually, the most important thing about refining Qiwan Dan is the mysterious God force, and I have coincidentally grasped this kind of energy. This kind of energy requires a long time of cultivation to produce, and it's only suitable for humans. Chen Shang said, even so, I am still able to condense this kind of strange divine power into a strength-gathering pearl, so that when you are refining pills, you only need to extract a single strand of it to succeed. How about this, I will provide you with 50 energy-gathering pearls of the mysterious God stage each month. You guys give me 100 sets of Dao Mark Dan's ingredients each month, how about it? Chen Shang asked. How many batches of Qiwan Dan can be refined with 50 energy-gathering pearls? He was relatively clear about the difficulty in refining Qiwan Dan. One pellet can refine 100 batches, so it can refine 5,000 batches. Regardless of the upper, middle, or lower, and during the refining process, you only need to extract a tiny bit of it to succeed. Chen Shang said, why not let your pill refiners try it out? Elder Tree smiled. I know a bit or two about alchemy, I'll give it a try first. Because Chu Hongqing extracted the counter power from the energy-gathering pearl to refine a Qiwan Dan, he knew about this matter very clearly. Elder Mu immediately took out a pill furnace, and then placed it in the medicinal ingredients to start refining. Chen Shang also took out an energy-gathering pearl, which was filled with the counter power, giving off a red light. Elder Tree, when you extract a bit of it from inside, you'll be able to fuse a few medicinal liquids together. Chen Shang handed the energy-gathering pearl over. It could be said that he was relatively proficient and Chen Shang could see it with a single glance. This was because this elder only had less than an hour before he was about to absorb the medicinal liquid. He followed Chen Zhang's instructions and extracted a sliver of counter power from the pearl before channeling it into the furnace. Then, to his surprise, he discovered that under the guidance of the energy, the medicinal liquid actually fused together quite naturally. Seeing Elder Tree's excited reaction, Chen Shang knew that it was a success and that it would condense a core very soon. Just as Chen Shang had expected, after surpassing that difficulty, the elder would be able to condense a core very quickly, and he could also refine 3 Qiwan Dan, which was of decent quality. Elder Shi, you are being modest. I did not expect you to be an expert in this field. Chen Shang laughed. How can I compare to you? This kind of power is really strange, it's really magical. Elder Tree was also very happy at the moment, because he had refined the Qiwan Dan many times but had always failed. Now that he had suddenly succeeded, he was naturally very happy. These are the Dao Mark Dan's medicinal ingredients and 50 energy-gathering pearls. Chen Shang said, just give me 100 sets of Dao Mark Dan's medicinal ingredients next month. All right, Elder Shi smiled as he took the items. Chapter 2411 Field Proof. Chen Shang did not consume much energy if he was to fill 50 energy-gathering pearls with counter power, and he was only able to do it in a moment's time. It was very easy for him, but this way, he could exchange for 100 portions of Dao Mark Dan's medicinal herbs. Chu Hongqing never thought that Chen Shang would actually be able to cooperate so happily with the spirit demon race. Furthermore, Chen Shang had gained a lot of benefits from this cooperation. Elder, not good, the Fang family's people are here. A teenager shouted as he knocked on the door. I knew they would come. There's nothing to be afraid of. This elder was not weak either. He said to Chen Shang, do you want to go watch the show? Of course. Chen Shang laughed, then turned into the appearance of a middle-aged man and followed Elder Shi out. The tree elder did not know the reason why Chen Shang had become the real enemy of the Fang family. Most people only thought that Chen Shang had threatened the Fang family because he knew how to refine Qiwan Dan, but they did not know that Chen Shang had once been trapped by the Fang family's powerful seal. Chen Shang followed Elder Lu to the bottom of the big tree, and saw the Fang family's people. The father and son duo of Fang Heng and Fang Daiqi were actually also here. Your Fang clan actually has the face to come. You've once killed a lesser demon of our demon clan. This debt has yet to be settled with you. Elder Shi's face was ice cold as he said angrily. Since we dare to come, we naturally aren't afraid of you demi-humans. If your tree ant emperor doesn't come out, you'll only have that bit of ability. An old man from the Fang family sneered. Hearing that, Chen Zhang's heart turned cold. This was one of the 3 elders who sealed him last time. He had already intended to kill. If not for him restraining his killing intent, it would have already been exposed. Don't be complacent about your Fang clan. When we, the Tree Emperor, come out, it will be a day of great calamity for your Fang clan. Elder Tree snorted. What business do you have here? If you have nothing to do, then hurry up and F***ck off. Moreover, our Fang family has never allowed you to sell it. If you don't want to cause too much trouble, you should know what to do. Ling Chen said. All right, the Fang family elder said, this is a rule that everyone follows. You demi-humans should also be clear about it. Our Qiwan Dan was sold for Chen Shang. I remember that you promised Chen Shang that you could refine it and sell it, so we didn't violate the rules. Before this, they were not sure that Chen Shang was the culprit. After all, Chen Shang was only him, so he could not refine so many Qiuandan. However, they still believed that Chen Shang must have cooperated with the demon clan and told them the secret of the Qiuandan. We don't believe you. Call Chen Shang out and have him admit it in front of his face. Furthermore, we still have something we want to confirm. The Fang family's elder said. While Elder Mu was thinking of a countermeasure, Chen Shang, who was in the form of a middle-aged man, suddenly spoke, "Clan elder, I'm going to call Master Shen out." Not caring about the reaction of the tree elder, Chen Shang ran into the big tree's cave and changed back into his own appearance before walking out. Seeing Chen Shang, the expressions of Fang Heng, his father, son, and the Fang family elder changed, filled with anger and killing intent. I understand now, those Qiuandan were all refined by me. I let the demon race help me sell them, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Chen Shang smiled. You can sell the Qiuandan, or the goblin tribe can help you sell it. However, you cannot do so without the consent of our Fang family. There were so many Qiuandan on the market, it was impossible for you to refine it yourself, it was only for such a short period of time. The Fang family's elder said angrily. Oh, I was the one who discovered the Qiuandan's secret, why can't I spread it? Chen Shang asked. This is the rule, because the Qiuandan's pill formula is ours. The Fang family's elder said coldly, clearly, you have already violated the rules. Within this region, you will be wanted. Don't you guys slander me with your blood. I didn't break the rules, and those Qiuandan were all refined by me. Chen Shang said. Impossible, it's only been a few months, and you can refine 3,000 to 4,000 pills. Our Fang family has so many alchemists refining, but we only get 1,000 of low-grade heaven step pills in a month. The Fang family's elder snorted. I know the Tree Ant tribe has many outstanding alchemists, and they also specialize in growing medicinal herbs. Furthermore, they also sold Qiuandan, so you must have passed down the Qiuandan's secret technique to them. Chen Shang laughed. Just because you can't do it, doesn't mean that I can't. I would like to ask you guys, how long is the fastest time you can refine a cauldron? How many pills can you produce? I can refine one furnace in 2 hours, and produce 5 pills in 10 hours a day, which is equal to 50 pills a day. I can refine 1,500 pills a month, is that not enough? Chen Shang laughed. If your Fang family uses force, every month, you would not only refine 1,000 pills, you refine so little, just to control the value of the Qiuandan, the lesser the price, the more expensive it will be, right? But, from the many Qiuandan we bought, we can see that all of your Qiuandan were refined within this month, and you can only refine 3,000 to 4,000 of them in a month. The Fang family's elder said. Many people came over, the humans who came to Demon Forest were all here to buy Qiuandan. They knew that the monthly sales here was more than the Fang family, and was also cheaper, so naturally they all gathered here. Chen Shang looked at his surroundings, and laughed, there are so many people here today, then I will demonstrate how fast I can create Qiuandan, and prove that I can refine all of them. Fine, I want to see how you prove it. The Fang family's elder snorted. In order to ensure that I don't do anything, how about using your Fang family's medicinal ingredients? 10 portions, Chen Shang said. Take it. That Fang family elder was also worried that Chen Shang would mess with him, so he immediately took out 10 batches of low-grade heaven stage Qiuandan and threw them at Chen Shang. After Chen Shang received it, he immediately released the 10 illusory treasure furnace, threw it in the beast meat, and then started to refine it. A faint glow appeared in the 10 magic treasure furnace. Next, everyone saw an unforgettable scene in their lifetime. Chen Shang was actually refining 10 batches of Qiuandan at the same time. They stared blankly at the changes in the furnace. First, the medicinal herbs turned into a medicinal liquid, then they quickly mixed together and separated into 3 balls, condensing into 3 Qiuandan. 10 pill furnaces. Every cauldron had 3 pills, meaning 30 pills. This hour had not even passed. Everyone was stunned. Just when they were in disbelief, Chen Shang had already taken out the Qiuandan. How is it? It shouldn't be a problem for me to refine 3,000 to 4,000 pills a month, right? Chen Shang threw the 30 pellets of Qiuandan over. Take a look and see if this was just refined a moment ago. No one caught the Qiuandan and it fell to the ground, because the people from the Fang family were all stunned by what they had just seen. It was not only the Fang family, even the spirit demon alchemists like Elder Lu and the others were all shocked by Chen Zhang's amazing pill refining skills. Chapter 2412. Chen Shang only refined 3 pellets per furnace so that the elder tree would not know he had taken too many, but even so, it was still very shocking. They never thought that Chen Shang would actually have such a high level of alchemy skills, being able to refine 10 batches of pills at the same time. This was the highest quality of their alchemist. If they were to focus on refining for a few months, as long as they had enough medicinal ingredients, they would be able to refine a lot more Qiwan-dan than their entire Fang family. Right now, the Fang family felt even more threatened by Chen Shang. If Chen Shang could do the same to them when he was refining high and middle grade heaven stage, then their Fang family would be in even more danger. Of course, Chen Shang was the most skilled at refining with his eyes. He could concoct 1 furnace in an instant. You guys saw it just now. I can refine a lot of Qiwan-dan by myself. Chen Shang said. He did this so that the elder tree would no longer need to be bothered by the Fang family in the future. Now that elder tree had finally seen how Chen Shang concocted pills, he felt more at ease and happy about working with Chen Shang. The Fang family's elders could not say anything at this point. Originally, they had planned to come here and cause a ruckus, but they did not expect such a thing to happen. Let's go. The Fang family's elders were furious, and quickly left with their men. At this time, the Fang family knew that Chen Shang was determined to take revenge on them, which was why he had cooperated with the spirit demon race, and that the spirit demon race also had enmity with the Fang family. Otherwise, the Fang family would not have come looking for them. Chen Shang and Elder Tree looked at each other and smiled, then returned back to the big tree. Little brother, I really didn't expect your alchemy skills to be so profound, much more so than I imagined. The Elder Tree chuckled, then handed over a storage bag to Chen Shang and said, this is over 100 sets of King Stage lower tier Qiwan-dan. This King Stage Qiwan-dan is extremely expensive. Oh, what's the usual price? Chen Shang asked. King Stage Qiwan-dan were extremely useful to many people with high cultivation. 1 million jade money. Usually, it's only the Fang family's minority who come out to auction. Elder Tree said, if you can refine 100 pellets, I will pay you back with 500,000 jade money. Elder Tree said, you should refine this kind of high-level Qiwan-dan. I'm worried that if we refine it, we will expose ourselves and the Fang family will see through us. Alright, Chen Shang nodded. He felt that if he were to refine it himself, these 100 portions of medicinal ingredients would not only be able to refine 100 pellets, there would definitely be a lot more of them. Chen Shang entered the secret room and immediately started refining the pills. He gave Chu Hongqing more than 10 portions of the ingredients to try. The 3 lotus dan that Chen Shang had refined before was of a very high level, and he had refined so many Qiwan-dan before, so it was very easy for him to learn how to refine low-ranked King level 3 lotus dan now. It took him 6 hours to produce 1 furnace and 5 pills. A low-ranked King Realm Qiwan-dan is indeed quite difficult. Chen Shang laughed, but after getting used to it, it will be completed very quickly. Chu Hongqing was not as fast as Chen Shang, she was still concocting. Hongqing, what realm are you at now? The Qiwan-dan is of great use to you. Chen Shang asked. Right now, I am at the 7th level of the Dao Dan realm. The first major stage of the heavenly Dao realm is the Dao Ti realm, the Dao Yuan realm and the Dao Dan realm. Chu Hongqing said, Qiwan-dan are still rather useful to me, especially this kind of high-level Qiwan-dan, because Dao Dan realm still needs to cultivate. Chen Shang nodded his head. Right now, he had only just stepped into the Dao Ti realm, so he needed to cultivate till there were 10 marks on his body before he could enter the Dao Yuan realm. You should be able to enter the Dao Dan realm very quickly. If you can refine Dao Mark Dan, with its help, you can easily comprehend the 10 Dao marks, and the Dao Yuan realm is even easier as well. The Qiwan-dan can very easily let you cultivate and produce a strong Dao Yuan immortal power. Chu Hongqing said, the most difficult part is the Dao Dan realm. When you reach this realm, you will understand. Fang Heng was at the peak of the Dao Yuan realm and he still could not step into the Dao Dan realm no matter what, so he could tell from this. As long as enough jade money are present to purchase the Qiwan-dan, the Dao Yuan realm will quickly reach the great perfection stage. Chu Hongqing continued, right now, you need to cultivate Dao marks. Of course, don't think that the Dao Dan realm is already very strong, since there are still many realms above the Dao Dan realm. Of course, Chen Shang understood. He asked, what are the realms of the Fang family's elders? They are all experts at the great circle of the Dao Po realm and have been stuck at the Dao Po realm for many years. After the Dao Pill comes the Dao Po realm, and every step forward is extremely difficult. Chu Hongqing said, that would require a very long time to finish. It seems that the Dao Ti realm and the Dao Yuan realm in front are very easy, but the Dao Dan realm and the Dao Po realm at the back are very difficult, said. As long as he could wait another month, he would be able to obtain the Dao Mark Dan S and herbs that the tree demoness had helped him cultivate. By that time, as long as he could refine them, he would be able to step into the Dao Yuan realm very quickly. Hongqing, is there anything special about the Dao Dan realm? Chen Shang asked again. The Dao Ti realm cultivates a Dao Mark. The Dao Mark possesses a very strong power, and the Dao Yuan realm can be used to cultivate and produce a Dao Yuan immortal power. When the Dao Yuan immortal power is used in combination with the Dao Mark, it should also be very terrifying, right? The Dao Dan realm mainly condenses a Dao core. This Dao core is a single source of power, everyone can only condense one. The Dao core can make the Dao energy stronger, but the most obvious thing is that when the Dao Yuan immortal power is activated by the Dao core, it will obviously improve. Chu Hongqing knew that Chen Shang did not know much about cultivation, so he patiently explained, of course, when the Dao pill is used with the Dao soul, it will be even more powerful. Doesn't that mean when the time comes, divine deity will condense into a Dao pill? Usually there will be 2 divine sense CS and 2 divine sense CS will condense their divine deity into a Dao pill. Chen Shang asked. Yes, the divine deity will condense into a Dao core and the bones will condense into a Dao soul. You'll know when the time comes. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Shang nodded his head. This was still a bit far away from him, he continued to refine lower tier king level Qiwan Dan S. Very quickly, a month had passed. When Chen Shang came out of the secret room, the elder tree found out that he had come out, and hurried over to see him. These are the ingredients for 100 Dao Mark Dan S. Elder tree passed the medicinal ingredients to Chen Shang. Take a look, I'm not satisfied. Very satisfied. Chen Shang laughed and then handed 100 low-grade king-level Qiwan Dan over to Elder Tree. Elder Tree took a look at them and paid him with the jade money. Chen Shang refined a total of 350 low-grade king-level Qiwan Dan S. He kept 250 of them, and after giving Elder Tree 50 energy-gathering beads of the counter power, he chatted with the Elder Tree for a while, then went to the secret room to refine pills. Chapter 2413. Had seen many different kinds of medicine, but this was the first time he had seen one like the Dao Mark Dan. This was because the 3 kinds of Dao Mark Dan's medicine were all round, small fruits that were black, white, and transparent. The strangest thing was that these fruits had spirit grain S on top of them, and using Chu Hongqing's words, these fruits all had natural Dao marks. However, the Dao marks on the black, white and transparent fruits were completely different. Also did not understand what the Dao marks on the fruits represented, and what Chu Hongqing did not know, was that the 3 fruits could refine Dao Mark Dan S out of them. Chen Shang had seen the Dao Mark Dan's pill formulas, Chu Hongqing had also seen it, and the 2 of them had even discussed what they should take note of when refining it. It seems that the most complicated part is the fusion of the Dao marks. I can't believe that 1,000 Dao marks would form a complete Dao mark by connecting them together. Chu Hongqing said. Just thinking about it makes my head hurt. No wonder this Dao Mark Dan is so expensive, it can be sold for 3 million jade money S per pellet. Is it really that expensive? Chen Shang did not expect that, because 3 million jade money was a huge number for the majority of the people. Forget about Yu Yan and LV Ying, just based on the fact that Chu Hongqing had a good position in Fire Reverend School, it would be difficult for her to take out that many jade money. Although she was an alchemist, she did not have a large amount of medicinal ingredients to refine, so she could only be controlled by others. Thus, she was very envious of the alive slain method, which meant that there would be an unlimited amount of medicinal ingredients. Back then, I did not eat Dao Mark Dan S, but there were many examples to prove it. As long as you eat Dao Mark Dan S, the condensing of Dao marks is extremely fast, and the fastest is to eat one to form a Dao mark. Of course, these are all for those who have cultivated their Dao body at a young age. Chu Hongqing said. Once you finish cultivating the Dao body, you will eat Dao Mark Dan and step into the Dao Yuan realm. Then, you will eat Qiwan Dan and quickly cultivate to the great perfection stage. Chen Shang said. That's right. Back then, I had to use my own time concocting pills to improve myself. Chu Hongqing said. Hee, if only you knew me earlier. Chen Shang laughed. Pill refining, I don't know when I'll be able to finish it. Back when Huang Tian closed up for a few months, he only managed to refine 1 or 2 pills. It's not easy at all. Chu Hongqing sighed. Of course, Chen Shang would not go according to the pill formulas. If he went along to refine the pills, it would take a lot of time, especially so to link all the Tao marks together. There were over 1,000 of them, and he would need to connect them with the corresponding pill formulas one by one. Therefore, from the very beginning, Chen Shang had already used the original source refining to try, but he did not succeed. The Tao marks did not have any obvious patterns. If he randomly tried to connect the Tao marks to them, it would cause the medicinal liquid to go crazy and explode at the end. Chu Hongqing didn't know much about heavenly alchemy, so she combined it with the methods of heavenly alchemy and started to refine according to the instructions of the pill formulas. Because Chen Shang understood the heavenly alchemy, he would find a way to solve this difficult problem from the heavenly alchemy. It was like this for many years, where he only used the heavenly alchemy to take many shortcuts. The alchemist who created the Tao mark Dan back then must have discovered some sort of pattern, so he knows how to arrange the thousands of marks. Otherwise, if he tried it in groups, who knows how many years he would have to try it out for, and he would even waste a lot of medicinal ingredients. Chen Shang tried again to see what the rules were, but failed in the end. Oh right, there is a special method for refining spirit grain in the heavenly alchemy. This mark has quite a lot in common with the spirit grain. I wonder if I can try that method. Chen Shang had only skimmed through this method before, but he had never used it before. However, he knew that this method was specially used to link many complex spirit grain together. This was after all, the heavenly alchemy, so it could be used to refine anything strange. He felt that this method was more useful in setting up arrays or in refining formation plates. Chu Hongqing was currently very quiet as he focused on refining the Tao mark Dan. Chen Shang then began his third attempt. Using the pattern refining method to refine, he began to refine the 3 fruits. After the fruit was refined, lines would appear on it. Tattoo forging technique. The trick behind Chen Zhang's technique was to release his own spirit sense and use the method in the technique to release his spirit power. It was just that in the beginning, the 1,000 lines of marks inside the pill furnace started to dance about chaotically, causing the entire Chuangshi God furnace to tremble. Initially, Chen Shang was very worried, but later on he could clearly feel that the marks were decreasing. It's getting smaller and smaller. Originally, there were more than 1,000 marks, but now there are only more than 800. Could it be that they've all fused together? Chen Shang wondered in his heart. Until he succeeded, he did not dare to confirm whether it was a success or not. His speed is very fast. Did he succeed or not? Chen Shang wondered in his heart. Only 4 hours had passed, but there were only about 200 marks on the pill furnace. Another 2 hours passed, and only 1 Tao mark remained. The recipe of the Tao mark Dan stated that if it was at this time, it would need to use an ingenious power to disperse this only scar. Chen Shang tried it and only saw the long scar turn into a pale white-black qi, which then fused into the medicinal liquid. Done. Chen Shang didn't have any confidence, so he could only continue to refine more pills. 4 won't be a problem. Chen Shang easily split the medicinal liquid into 4 clumps, and then formed 4 pellets. From start to end, he had only used 8 hours. Hongqing, I succeeded. Chen Shang chuckled. Our Tao mark Dan like that. Chu Hongqing, who was initially focused on refining pills, immediately opened his eyes when he heard Chen Zhang's voice. He looked at the 4 white pellets on Chen Zhang's palm. Yes, you really refined it. Chu Hongqing was startled, and shouted in shock. Of course, you can refine it according to the pill formula, but it will take a long time. Are you still connecting to those Tao marks? Chen Shang laughed. I've already connected more than 10 Tao marks. It's very difficult to connect Tao marks to Tao marks, and I don't know how long you'll have to refine them. Chu Hongqing asked. Chen Shang arrived in front of her body, and tapped the center of her brows with his finger. You can be as fast as me. Chu Hongqing also had the entire heavenly alchemy, and with Chen Zhang's guidance, she flipped through her mind and took out the inscription method, then used the inscription method to refine it. Chapter 2414. Not long after Chu Hongqing started, she already felt the effects of the inscription method. It was much faster than the method she used before. Chen Shang said, I'll try eating one first and see if it's really as powerful as the rumors say. Previously, Chu Hongqing had said that eating a single pill could condense it into a line. He did not believe it, because the Tao mark required one to comprehend. Have you thought about what kind of Tao mark you want to form? If you need to form a Tao mark, then after you eat it, use the flame power to rush into your heart. That way, you will be able to form a Tao mark. Chu Hongqing said. I've thought about it. Chen Shang needed two kinds of Dao marks now, the spatial Dao mark and the flame Dao mark. Fire was his main cultivation method, and it was also of great help to alchemy. This was a Dao mark that he had to form, and the power of space was also of great help to him. It had saved his life many times, so it had to be there. The Dao Ti realm could only create a total of 10 scars, he planned to create 5 flame and 5 spatial marks. Hongqing, are all the flame marks different? Chen Shang asked again. Everyone's different, so there shouldn't be any repetition. The Dao marks are all different and strange, and vary from person to person. Chu Hongqing replied, the power one possesses is also very different. After Chen Shang asked around, he immediately ate a Dao mark Dan and began to circulate the flame power in his heart. Not long after, he felt his body itch. It was as if something had suddenly appeared in his body, and he could not help but go grab at it. You have successfully formed a Dao mark. Try it. Chu Hongqing couldn't help but giggle when she saw Chen Shang grabbing every part of his body like a monkey. Chen Shang closed his eyes. As expected, he felt the first scar in his body, one that grew within his body. At the same time, he also had a very close relationship with the divine sense C. After he opened his palm, he saw what seemed to be a long sword-shaped mark. On it were many small spirit grains that formed a group. This is a Dao mark. Chen Shang asked as he pointed his palm at Chu Hongqing. That's right, the Dao mark is just like that. You can give your own Dao mark a name. Chu Hongqing smiled and nodded. It looks like the shape of a sword, and it's also fiery red. Let me try it out first. Chen Shang channeled the divine power inside the divine sense C into his body, and then poured it into the Dao mark. He only felt his palm heat up, and then he placed his palm against a wall. A flame appeared in his palm, and countless flaming light swords shot out from his palm, all hitting the wall. Fortunately, he had only used very weak divine power, and the wall was also very firm, so it did not cause much damage. So powerful, Chen Shang said in shock. Just a tiny bit of divine power is already so powerful. Just a moment ago, he was very satisfied because he had simply released so many fire swords that were very powerful. Then, he tried again and this time, he managed to form a very large sword. When the sword was about to pierce through the wall, he hurriedly retrieved it. He was also able to retract his power with just a thought. This is an offensive Dao mark, and it's also very strong. This is quite rare. Chu Hongqing said somewhat enviously, my Dao marks are all flowers, plants and little birds. Sigh. This is called the path of the fire sword, is it really that rare to see an attack-type Dao mark? Chen Shang asked. I rarely see anyone use it. Continue eating the Dao mark Dan and see what the next scar is. Chu Hongqing urged, she had not finished refining her Dao mark Dan yet. Chen Shang ate another Dao mark Dan and the speed at which he condensed the marks was indeed very fast. In a short moment, he succeeded, opening his palm and looking at his second mark. This is a fire unicorn, the mark of the Qilin Dao. Chen Shang said, I don't know if it's the type of attack. As he said that, he channeled his divine power, his palm facing the ground. A red light flashed and a palm-sized fire unicorn appeared in front of him. It's so small, could it be because I'm using too little divine power? Chen Shang laughed as he used his divine hand to grab the fire unicorn that was younger than Yuei. Chu Hongqing said in shock, isn't this the heavenly beast? Your Dao marks are all these powerful stuff, each one is more terrifying than the other. After Chen Shang grabbed onto the fire unicorn, he shouted in shock, this thing is actually real, what's going on? Chu Hongqing said, this is a beast-type Dao mark, as long as you use your divine power, you can create a very realistic beast. The scales on the little fire unicorn's body were also very stiff. Then, with a thought, the little fire unicorn disappeared, and he also felt a burst of divine power return into his body. Now, Chu Hongqing was even more jealous, her face filled with hidden bitterness, because her Dao marks were all ordinary things, she also wished to have such a strange Dao mark. Chen Shang ate another Dao mark Dan. After his body started itching, it showed that he had successfully formed a Dao mark. What is it this time? Chu Hongqing asked curiously. It's a bird. This is very ordinary, right? Chen Shang said as he channeled his divine power, releasing a small flame bird. This is no ordinary bird. This is a vermilion bird, and also a heavenly beast. Why are your Dao marks so powerful? I am so happy to have a Dao mark like that. Chu Hongqing could no longer stay calm. At this moment, her mood was like a gambler who had lost 9 times in a row and had seen others win every single round. She felt extremely upset and wanted to cry, because once the Tao mark was cultivated, it could not be changed. There's one more. Chen Shang looked at the little vermilion bird that was flying around. What's next? Chen Shang was not surprised by this, because his second divine sense C had a qilin and a vermilion bird. These were all fire attribute heavenly beast. Chen Shang was also very curious about the marks that would appear next. There were no longer any fire attribute heavenly beast in his second divine sense C. After eating his 4th pellet of Dao mark Dan, Chen Shang refined the medicinal power, and waited expectantly for the moment the Dao mark appeared. Not long later, he felt his body itching, which meant that he had succeeded again. Chu Hongqing also stretched out her neck at this time, staring at the center of Chen Zhang's palm. Even though she was jealous, she still hoped that Chen Zhang's 4th scar was as powerful as the one before. This is one eye. Chen Shang looked at the eye pattern on his palm. This pattern was the same as the one before, formed by many complex spirit grain. It's the first time I've seen a Dao mark that looks like an eye. Dao marks are truly strange. Let's see what's so powerful about it. Chu Hongqing exclaimed. Chen Shang felt that this eye could be related to the bones that had congealed in his eyes. If the Dao mark was his eyes, then the effects of using it would definitely be very strange. Chapter 2415. When Chu Hongqing saw the eyes on Chen Zhang's palm, she was also wondering what kind of use it would have. Not only had she never seen this kind of strange Dao mark before, but she had never even heard of it. I'll try. Chen Shang channeled his spirit power and released the eye-shaped marks. Facing the wall, the eyes on his palm suddenly emitted a weak white light, which was not a flame color. The white light illuminated a wide area, but not long after, the area turned green and pale white. Chen Shang and Chu Hongqing could see many green and white ribbons of light appear in that area. They looked like a river flowing with some kind of energy. Chen Shang moved his palm and shone it on other places. It was the same thing, but when he shone it on Chu Hongqing's furnace, he could see that it was fiery red. This is the Dao Heart Eye. Chen Shang was shocked, and then, he also used the Dao Heart Eye to observe his surroundings. Sure enough, it was the same as what his eyes had just seen from the center of his palm. It's really strange. It can restore the true form of energy. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Shang nodded his head. The Dao Heart Eye indeed had such an effect, but he felt that it was definitely not that simple. No, this is not a fire attribute Dao mark. Chen Shang used the eyes once again and channeled his divine power. This time, for some reason, his eyes actually blinked once, and in the blink of an eye, a terrifying flame suddenly rose from the place he had locked onto. There's spatial energy too, Chen Shang said in surprise. These eyes are the combination of space and fire. Chu Hongqing was even more depressed. Why wasn't this strange and powerful mark on her body? Seems like there are many uses for it. Chen Shang was now certain that these eyes were not only Dao Heart Eyes, but also that special type of bones in his eyes. He immediately took out a set of low-grade heaven stage Qiwan medicinal herbs, and let his eye trace appear on his 2 palms. As he held the Qiwan medicinal ingredients, his mind moved, and the eye trace on his palm immediately blinked, spitting out scorching flames. The medicinal ingredients held by Chen Shang immediately turned into 5 Qiwan. When Chu Hongqing saw it, he could not help but shout out. This time, Chen Shang did not use the method of spitting out fire from his eyes, but used his hands to feel the medicinal ingredients, making them turn into pills, moving much faster. Sure enough, Chen Shang laughed. He now understood that this was a fusion of the Dao Heart Eye and the bones in his eyes. Other than this, it was also a fusion of fire and spatial energy. Let's call it the God's Eye Dao mark. Chen Shang laughed, and then, he placed his palm against the wall. Under his control, the divine eye mark on his palm opened, shining a gentle white light. The walls that were shot by the white light started to show signs of impact. It was the big tree in the middle of the demon forest, and the angle of impact was looking down from the sky. Chen Shang increased his spatial strength and the image on the wall appeared in the sky above Fire Dao Divine Place. He could see the bustling city center. Is this the power of space? Chu Hongqing said in shock. If Chen Shang could see that far through the sky, then that was the only possibility. Yes, the Dao mark is indeed very useful. Chen Shang laughed. This should be the space eye. Each of your Dao marks is stronger than the last. Chu Hongqing pouted. She was so jealous that she said, Dao marks and Dao marks can be fused together. Try it yourself, but it will consume a lot of divine power. A thought flashed through Chen Zhang's mind. He first used the Eye of Space to project an image of himself on the wall. The image that was projected on the wall was extremely clear. Chen Xiang and Chu Hongqing could clearly see those beautiful flowers as if it was right in front of their eyes. Chen Zhang's heart stirred. The divine eye's Dao mark and the vermilion bird flashed, and in the image, he saw a very small vermilion bird flying back and forth amidst the flowers. Success! Chu Hongqing cried out in shock. Chen Xiang had just released the vermilion bird into a flower bush tens of thousands of miles away, and he could even personally see the vermilion bird. The consumption rate is indeed huge. Chen Xiang immediately took back the vermilion bird. Too terrifying. If you used it together with your previous fire sword, wouldn't you be able to kill people? Chu Hongqing said in shock. She also found it hard to believe. If my power is strong enough, I should be able to do it. Chen Xiang laughed. The 4 marks he had just formed were all very good, which made him very satisfied. Hongqing, have you not finished refining the first batch? Chen Xiang walked over and asked. Not yet. You can start refining it yourself. Even if I am to refine it, it would be impossible for me to refine 4 pills in one furnace. I am not as amazing as you. Chen Xiang daintily said. Chen Xiang walked over and caressed her jade face, then began to refine the Dao mark Dan. As long as he could cultivate all 10 Dao marks, he would be able to step into the Dao Yuan realm. With the Dao Yuan immortal power, he was able to unleash the power of the Dao mark. Just now, when he used his divine power to activate the Dao mark, the effect was very ordinary. Although Chu Hongqing was envious, she was still very happy. After all, Chen Xiang was her master, and she was the one who liked to concoct pills the most. Chen Xiang had also imparted her a very profound pill refining technique, so she had already achieved her primary goal of becoming Chen Zhang's servant. In the past, she would have headaches for the jade money from time to time, but now, Chen Xiang had an unlimited number of jade money. After a few hours, Chu Hongqing had successfully refined a Dao mark Dan. Although there were only 2 pellets, it made her extremely excited. In the past, Huang Tian always used to force himself on me with Dao mark Dan. If he were to compete with me in refining Dao mark Dan now, he would definitely be no match for me. Chu Hongqing laughed proudly. She knew that Huang Tian needed to go into closed-door cultivation for a period of time before being able to refine the pill much. I've finished refining it too. Chen Xiang laughed. He had still refined 4 pills. If he wanted to level up, he could only use the crash method, but he did not need them now, because Dao mark Dan of this level were already enough. I've only managed to cultivate 4 Dao marks at the moment, but I've managed to refine 4. You can refine 2 of them, perfect. Chen Xiang laughed. Quickly eat it. Let me see if there are any more powerful Dao marks behind you. Chu Hongqing was also very curious. She thought that Chen Zhang's following marks would definitely not be any worse than the previous 4. Chen Xiang ate 1 pill, and not long after, he cultivated out the 5th scar. This time, he was still using the flame power to cultivate, so this should also be a flame scar. Chapter 2416. Previously, the God's Eye Dao mark was an accident and he did not understand that it was a combination of fire and space. However, that mark did not disappoint him. It's an elephant, Chu Hongqing said. This is also beast type, not bad. It's not an ordinary elephant, it's a ground-suppressing immortal elephant. Chen Xiang replied, have you heard of it? Of course I've heard of it. Legend has it that there's a hell in here that's guarded by an elephant. If it's really a ground-suppressing immortal elephant, then it must be very scary. It's said that it's a very magical heavenly beast. Chu Hongqing said in shock, how did you know this was a ground-suppressing immortal elephant? Chen Zhang's Dao marks were all related to his body, so when he saw the elephant Dao marks, he knew that it was a ground-suppressing immortal elephant. Chen Xiang pressed his hand on the ground, then activated his spirit power, and suddenly an elephant-shaped array formation appeared on the ground. This is the divine flame formation used to suppress demons. It's very powerful. Chen Xiang also suddenly had this information in his head just now, letting him know the use of the divine image Dao marks. If I'm strong enough, I can use my Dao mark to summon a huge ground-suppressing immortal elephant. It has a very frightening power. Chen Xiang said. Another extremely terrifying Dao mark. Chu Hongqing exclaimed. She seemed to be already used to it. Chen Xiang nodded his head, and suddenly ate another Dao mark Dan. This time, he began to cultivate the spatial attribute Dao mark. he was extremely curious about what kind of special power this spatial Dao mark held. The sixth slash appeared quickly. Chu Hongqing was not concocting pills now, but was watching him cultivate by Chen Zhang's side. This pattern is very similar to your heavenly artifact. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Zhang's sixth mark, the pattern looked to be exactly the same as his six realms mirrors. Upon seeing it, Chu Hongqing suddenly understood that Chen Zhang's first mark was a sword, which was the same as his own heavenly magic sword, and now this six realms mirrors' mark had appeared. This meant that the marks that Chen Shang had created were all closely related to him. Thinking about it till here, Chu Hongqing's heart suddenly shook. For Chen Shang to be able to condense so many marks from Heavenly Beast, it showed that he definitely had a close relationship with them. What is the use of this scar? Chu Hongqing asked. I can connect to the transmission array, Chen Shang said, as he placed his palm on the ground. He channeled his spatial energy, and something similar to a six realms mirrors appeared, which looked like an array disk. Then, he released another six realms mirrors to the other side. This was all condensed out of spatial energy, it wasn't a real six realms mirrors. Let me try. Chen Shang stood on top of one of the six realms mirrors, and with a thought, he went over to the other six realms mirrors. Chu Hongqing also walked up. In Chen Zhang's space, she had teleported from two six realms mirrors s. This demon forest should be able to connect to it too, right? Let me see if I can. Chen Shang first used his divine eye to lock onto one of the transmission arrays inside the demon forest. Then, he released another six realms mirrors. Afterwards, he pulled Chu Hongqing and stepped onto that six realms mirrors, and under his control, they instantly arrived at the transmission array that he had locked onto in the transmitting square. Awesome! Chu Hongqing yelled in excitement. Chen Shang also laughed mischievously, then he returned to the secret room. Chen Shang had thought that Dao marks were extremely difficult to cultivate, but he never thought that a single pill could produce one. No wonder this Dao mark Dan was so precious, and was even treated like a treasure by the Fire Reverent School, but now that he obtained it, he could quickly refine it. The uses of the Dao marks were very wide, and they could even be used ingeniously to coordinate with each other. Right now, Chen Shang was only using the basic power. The seventh one is here, hurry up and eat it. Chu Hongqing urged Chen Shang. Chen Shang swallowed another Dao mark Dan, and after condensing the Dao mark, Chu Hongqing immediately grabbed Chen Zhang's palm and examined it carefully. Is this a house? Chu Hongqing suddenly felt that it was familiar, and shouted in alarm, this is the Yuyao Palace inside the ring. Chen Shang was also very surprised, he never thought that he would actually form such a scar. What's the use? Chen Zhang's palm faced an open space, and after channeling his spatial energy, a white light flashed from his palm, shining on an open space and congealing a door. Could it be that he entered through the gate of the ring? Chu Hongqing anxiously walked over, opened the door and entered. After that a surprised shout came from inside, Master, quickly come in. Chen Shang immediately walked over, and after entering, he saw Yuyao Palace. He had carried the ring for who knows how many years. When he sent his soul consciousness into the ring, he could only see the palace, but he had never entered it before. And now, with Yuyao Palace right in front of him, Chu Hongqing was skipping over, opening a door and walking in. This really is the palace of Yuyao, my clothes are still inside. Chu Hongqing laughed, now, you can also enter Yuyao Palace. Yeah, I really didn't expect it. Chen Shang looked at the scenery around him. He had previously only seen the scenery with his divine sense, but now that he was able to see it with his own eyes, he felt that it was very different. So you're saying that you can hide in your own ring in the future? Chu Hongqing felt that he could not understand. You should take the dark jade ring with you, how did you manage to enter this place? Actually, when the ring and my soul fused together, it was also in my real world. So I can come in, and it's really nice. Chen Shang laughed. In the future, I can hide like this, I don't need to look for ins everywhere. The Dao mark is truly magical on your body. Quickly get out and take a look at the next Dao mark. Chu Hongqing pulled Chen Shang and walked towards the door that led outside. After arriving outside, Chen Shang immediately ate a Dao mark Dan. It was just as he had expected, a dragon-shaped mark on it that was a little cyan in color. When he used it, he discovered that it could release a very strong power of thunder power and wind, as well as oscillating power through the air. It possessed a very strong attack power. The last two Dao marks he got were the Beast Elephant Dao marks, the White Tiger Dao mark and the Black Tortoise Dao mark. Right now, he only knew that the white tiger Dao mark could have a very strong jumping power in space, and he felt that this jumping power could allow him to jump out of the space seal. As for the black tortoise Dao mark, it had a very strong space defensive power. This was only what he had discovered. Now, he had already formed 10 Dao marks. After having 10 Dao marks, he also felt that the divine power in his own divine sense C was different. You can start cultivating the Dao Yuan immortal power now, try eating a piece of Qiwan Dan. Chu Hongqing said. Chapter 2417. C2417. Chen Shang never thought that everything would happen so quickly, especially after he cultivated the 10 Dao marks. The spirit force in his body had clearly become much stronger. After eating the Qiwan Dan, under the Qiwan Dan's power, his divine sense C actually started to boil, and was converting his power bit by bit. At this moment, he also felt that there was a very mystical phenomenon occurring in his divine sense C world. For example, he could see that the air above his real world was filled with condensed mist. These mist gathered together, forming a heavy rain. Rain was divine force. Above the clouds, there was a huge ball of air. That ball of air was the Dao Yuan immortal power that had just been formed. Has he condensed Dao Yuan? Chu Hongqing asked. Chen Shang told Chu Hongqing about the situation of the ball of air. That's Dao Yuan, but it hasn't completely formed yet. After it's fully formed, it'll be like a scorching sun hanging in the sky. Chu Hongqing said, however, right now you can be considered to have just stepped into the Dao Yuan realm, and once you train to the first layer, there will be a white sun in the sky above your real world, and it will not have any effect on the earth. In other words, I need to train up to 10 Dao acupoints here before I can be considered a paragon, right? Chen Shang asked. Yes. Chu Hongqing laughed. Now you should be able to produce your own divine power, right? Dao Yuan realm is to upgrade your divine power to Dao Yuan immortal power and condense it in the air. You just need to extract the divine power from the Dao Yuan. The Dao Yuan immortal power is indeed very strong. Chen Shang used the Dao Yuan immortal power to activate his fire sword Dao mark. As he held the sword hilt, he could feel how terrifying this fire sword was. It's best not to use the Dao mark carelessly. You should rarely see anyone use it, right? Because this is a secret. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Shang nodded his head. Previously, when he and LV Ying were fighting against beasts, they did not use the power of the Dao mark. What rank of Qiwan Dan should I eat now? Chen Shang asked. He had hoarded a lot of Qiwan Dan and could finally eat them now. Shantian high rank. Chu Hongqing thought about it, because many cultivators that had just stepped into the Dao Yuan realm did not choose such a high-ranked Qiwan Dan like Chen Shang. Chen Shang took out a high-grade heaven stage Qiwan Dan and ate it, then he began to cultivate. His divine sense C was unceasingly boiling, and the rising mist all gathered in the air above the divine sense C world, fusing into that ball of Dao Yuan. The high-grade heaven-rank Qiwan Dan was different. It was much better than the low-grade Qiwan Dan from before. There were a lot of seething Dao Yuan immortal power. After divine sense C stopped his boiling, he ate another. He had only swallowed more than 10 pills, and was already able to condense a very large amount of Dao Yuan in the air. Chen Shang consumed another high-grade Qiwan Dan and discovered that although the divine sense C was boiling with spirit energy, he was unable to condense the second ball of spirit energy. Hongqing, what's going on? Chen Shang quickly told Chu Hongqing about the difficult problem he had encountered, while Chu Hongqing was refining a Dao mark Dan. You have condensed a Dao Yuan, so you need to wait a while before you can start cultivating the second Dao Yuan. This is mainly because your divine sense C's power has gotten used to the first Dao Yuan. Chu Hongqing said, generally, you will have to wait for a few months. Your cultivation speed right now is already very fast. Chen Shang could only sigh, take out his pill furnace and refine a Dao mark Dan. Right now, he could only refine Dao mark Dan to take revenge on the Fire Reverend School. The Fire Reverend School was plotting against Chu Hongqing, and he had even joined hands with the Fang family to seal him, so he had to take this lying down. After a month, all 100 batches of Dao mark Dan's medicinal ingredients were refined into pills, a total of 300 pills. After coming out, he found the elder tree and gave him 50 energy-gathering pearls, in exchange for 100 portions of Dao mark Dan's medicinal herbs. Elder tree, the business of the Qiwan Dan is not bad right now. Chen Shang laughed. Very good. The Fang family is already stomping their feet in anxiety. The speed at which they produce the pills is too slow. It seems like they don't have much medicinal ingredients, but we do have a lot of alchemists. The elder tree laughed. The Fang family can't come looking for trouble right now, but we still have to be wary of them. It can only hit the Fang family, it's not fun enough. Chen Shang laughed mischievously as he suddenly took out a few Dalmark Dan. Elder tree, how is Fire Reverend School's production of Dalmark Dan right now? They sell at most 20 of them every month, and they sell them at a very high price. Elder tree asked anxiously, how many pills do you have right now? 300 pills, Chen Shang said. So many. Elder tree could not help but take a deep breath. Yes, Fire Reverend School's Huang Tian is really annoying. Chen Shang laughed. He knew that his Dalmark Dan would definitely send Huang Tian into a rage. Little brother, it's best not to provoke Fire Reverend School for now, because an old leader from Fire Reverend School has suddenly appeared. I wonder why, the elder tree said. If this old leader were to attack our demon forest, and our tree ant emperor cannot, it would be more dangerous. Chen Shang nodded. I understand. The demon forest had already angered the Fang family. If they provoked them, the old leader would also fight, and they, the demon forest, would not be able to hold on. At that time, the Fire Reverend School and the Fang family would have to join hands and attack. As long as you don't sell it in the demon forest, I will go to the Divine Air City and sell it. Chen Shang laughed. Then be careful, the old leader of the Fire Reverend School is not simple at all. Even the Tree Ant Emperor is afraid of him. The elder tree replied, however, I'm not worried about Divine Void City. It would be easier to escape from there. After Chen Shang bid farewell to the elder tree, he immediately headed to the Divine Void City. From here, he could hear the news of the Qiwan Dan. The Fang family's Qiwan Dan production was low, and the quality was not very good. Adding to the fact that the price was expensive, no one was interested in the Fang family and they all went to the demon forest to buy them. Chen Shang had also heard the news of old leader's return. He did not know why he came back, but this old leader was extremely prestigious and he had no idea where he went after he abdicated his throne. Hongqing, do you have any impression of the old leader? Chen Shang asked. No, when I entered the Fire Reverend School, the old leader had already left, but there were some rumors about him. Chu Hongqing said. That guy must be related to the undead divine race. Chen Shang had a new understanding of the undead divine race as here, and they were different from the S that he knew. He came to the house Long Xuangru bought before, and thought about how to advertise the Dalmark Dan. At the same time, he also thought about the old leader. He had previously killed Huang Profound, but that Huang Profound had a very high status in the undead divine race. He felt that the old leader had probably come back for this. Of course, the undead divine race did not know that he did it, otherwise he would have calculated it using the heaven extended method. He came from the future, so he was not in existence of this era. Chapter 2418. The lake that Chen Shang currently resided on was beside his old house, and since this island was considered a relatively large empty island within the Spirit Sky City, many people would often come here to jump into the lake and teleport. Therefore, Chen Shang did not plan to spend so much time and effort to advertise, and directly set up a stall in front of his house, and then write a few large words on it. In order to let everyone on this empty island know, he even used 10,000 jade money to hire dozens of youths who had nothing to do to make announcements. Just then, someone came up to ask about the price of the Dalmark Dan. It was a very decently dressed old man, and it was obvious that he was relatively wealthy. Furthermore, his cultivation was quite good, so he probably bought the Dalmark Dan for the younger generation. 2 million jade money, the quality is better than the one refined by Fire Reverend School, and Fire Reverend School's Dalmark Dan are hard to buy. Most importantly, my Dalmark Dan is cheaper than theirs by 1 million. Chen Shang smiled at the old man. Old sir, you should be able to see the quality of this Dalmark Dan. The old man nodded. I previously bought one for my disciple, it was from Fire Reverend School. Your quality is indeed better than Fire Reverend School's, but when I bought it, it was 4 million more. Quote. The advantage of Dalmark Dan was that it could quickly cross the Dao Ti realm and cultivate up to 10 Dalmarks. If one did not use Dalmark Dan S, it would take at least 10 years to cultivate them. I'll buy one. The old man was straightforward. Seeing that the quality was not bad and the price was much cheaper than the Fire Reverend School, he immediately took out his jade money and bought it. Of course the old man knew who the seller of Dalmark Dan was. Other than the Fire Reverend School, only Chen Shang could refine Dalmark Dan. Previously, the Fang family's Qiwan Dan had already shaken Chen Zhang's name in every direction. Especially when the Fang family went to the demon forest, Chen Shang being able to refine 10 batches of Qiwan Dan in an hour was truly impressive and had even become a legend. Not long after, the people of the floating island knew that Chen Shang was selling the Dao Mark Dan here, and the news of this event quickly spread throughout all of Divine Sky City. Those who needed to buy Dao Mark Dan all rushed over to the island, because Chen Zhang's Dao Mark Dan was 1 million cheaper than the Fire Reverend School's jade money. They were already very familiar with the pills refined by Chen Shang. The quality of the Qiwan Dan was much better than the Fang family's. 2 million Dao Mark Dan S was still very expensive for many people, but there were still a few rich people. This area had been around for many years, and for many small and large forces, they had accumulated quite a few jade money S over the years. Dao Mark Dan S could allow their disciples to grow quickly, so even spending a lot of jade money S was worth it. Very quickly, Chen Shang sold 50 of them. He was not lacking in jade money S right now, and doing this was because he was unhappy with Fire Reverend School. In just half a day's time, this matter had spread to Fire Dao Divine Place and other nearby big cities, attracting many big shots from different forces, thus Chen Shang quickly sold another 50 pills. In the evening, he had sold a total of 200 pellets. Because there were already many people waiting to buy the Dao Mark Dan, but they had to wait for the Fire Reverend School to open for sale. So when Chen Shang opened the sales today, he immediately took away all the jade money this group of people had been preparing for a long time. Chen Shang comfortably sat at the door of the house. He planned to set up the house for 1 day and 1 night, until all the Dao Mark Dan on his body were sold out. However, when the sky was about to turn dark, he suddenly felt a very familiar aura. Huang Tian and Huang Shaoshan. Chen Shang was shocked. He anxiously kept the Dao Mark Dan that was displayed on the table, but he did not expect that, at that moment, Huang Shaoshan would actually attack him. Chen Shang, it's time for your death. Huang Shaoshan suddenly came to the front of Chen Shang, the blade in his hand struck towards Chen Shang. Chen Shang immediately dodged. This Huang Shaoshan was from the Dao Dan realm. The current Dao Yuan immortal power on his body was extremely vigorous. That aura made it difficult for Chen Shang to get close to him, and his strength was also extremely terrifying. That blade just now had left a very, very deep crack. What does your Fire Reverend School mean? You want to kill me because you can't sell me a pill? Chen Shang shouted. It was a bustling place. When everyone saw Huang Shaoshan attacking, they quickly dodged, but in their hearts, they secretly despised Fire Reverend School. The Fire Reverend School had also made a lot of profit from selling the Dao Mark Dan, so it was normal for the Fire Reverend School to come knocking on his door to look for Chen Zhang's business. HMPH, that day you destroyed the Heavenly Law auction and even did many heinous things. I was only acting on behalf of the heavens. Huang Shaoshan laughed coldly, and once again rushed towards Chen Shang. Huang Shaoshan had a very strong Dao Yuan immortal power protecting his body, and he had no way of dealing with Chen Shang at all. Even if the heavenly magic sword stabbed at him, it wouldn't be able to destroy Huang Shaoshan's Dao Yuan immortal power, unless Huang Shaoshan was distracted and didn't use the Dao Yuan immortal power protecting his body. Long ago, many people already knew that the Fang family and the Fire Reverend School were discrediting Chen Shang, so everyone did not believe what Huang Shaoshan had just said. Chen Shang was furious in his heart. He still could not beat Huang Shaoshan, so he could only escape first. Otherwise, he would very likely be taken down by Huang Shaoshan. Father, he's going to run away. Huang Shaoshan saw that Chen Shang had suddenly disappeared, and immediately shouted. Chen Shang immediately teleported towards the lake, but he did not expect to be blocked by a powerful force, as a spatial enchantment suddenly enveloped him. Just as Chen Shang was thinking of a way, a loud sound came out. Chen Shang felt an intense pain all over his body. It was as if his bones and flesh were being torn apart. Huang Tian. Chen Shang looked up. It was Huang Tian who had struck him with his palm just now. Although the distance was quite far, Huang Tian was an expert of the Dao Po realm, so the power that came from afar was also very terrifying. Quickly hand Chu Hongqing over, I can spare your life. Huang Tian coldly said. Dream on. Chen Shang secretly activated the White Tiger Dao Mark, allowing the power of the White Tiger Dao Mark to flow into his body. Chen Shang was sealed by a spatial enchantment, so he could only move inside the enchantment. As Huang Tian's palm attack came over, it covered the entire enchantment, and if he did not run, Chen Zhang's injuries would be even worse. Space jump. Chen Shang used the power of the White Tiger Dao Mark to release a white tiger. The moment the palm attack came, he immediately trapped the white tiger and with a huge leap, he jumped out of the barrier that sealed him and into the lake. He had already known that Chen Shang had the power to break free from the seal, so when he came, he specially prepared a spatial enchantment disc to trap Chen Shang. However, he did not expect Chen Shang to escape in the end. After entering the lake, Chen Shang immediately appeared on another floating island. He was lying on the ground, his entire body filled with energy, while Huang Tian's palm attack was still wreaking havoc in his body. This father and son duo, just you wait. Chen Shang used a hidden jade mark and opened a door leading to the ring. Then, he walked in. Seeing Chen Shang coming in, Chu Hongqing anxiously walked over and supported him. She was planning to come out just now, but Chen Shang did not allow her to. Even though she was from Daodan realm, she was far from Huang Tian, and would only be taken away by Huang Tian. Chapter 2419. It's just a physical injury, it's fine. Chen Shang saw Chu Hongqing's face filled with worry and said. Huang Tian seems to be extremely anxious. I'm guessing that he wants to use me as a cultivation furnace so that he can break through his bottleneck. He has been stuck in the Daopo realm for a very long time. Chu Hongqing sighed. As Chen Shang recovered from his injuries, he scolded, "This bastard, you can forget about breaking through your bottleneck in your entire life. I'll let him die in the Daopo realm." Chen Shang was currently only at the first level of Dao origin stage, and Huang Shaoshan was at the Daodan realm, so he was one realm higher than him, so there was no need to mention Huang Tian. The peak of the Daopo realm was 2 to 3 great realms higher than him. Fire Reverent School knew that Chen Shang was still in Shenkong City, so he was anxious for the disciples of the Fire Reverent School to quickly rush over to the various floating islands to search for Chen Shang. Huang Tian just wanted to catch Chen Shang quickly and force Chen Shang to hand him over so that he could use Chu Hongqing to cultivate and break through his current bottleneck. Fortunately, the Dao marks I've been training in are very useful. Otherwise, I would have been in big trouble just now. Chen Shang was most afraid of spatial seals, but just now, when he used the white tiger Dao mark, he actually easily brought him out of the spatial enchantment. It had been a long time since Chen Shang had received such a heavy injury, and he had only recovered after a full month of healing. Furthermore, in this 1 month, Chu Hongqing had also improved a lot in refining Dao mark Dan. After Chen Shang recovered from his injuries, he ate a high-grade heaven stage Qiwan Dan. After eating it, he felt that he could condense his second Dao Yuan. I need to eat a few more pills before I can condense the second element. Chen Shang took out a few more high-grade heaven-ranked Qiwan Dan and ate them. After eating it, it only took him half a day to cultivate up to the second Yuan Li. I need to quickly cultivate to the 10th perfection, then enter the Dao Dan realm. Only at that time can I break through Huang Shaoshan's defense, so I must kill this guy. Chen Shang said coldly. It seems like you can eat once a month. If nothing goes wrong, you will be able to reach the great circle of perfection within a year. Chu Hongqing said. What Chen Shang lacked the least right now were Qiwan Dan, since Chen Shang had hoarded a lot of Qiwan Dan for himself to eat. I have to hurry, I can't wait anymore. I definitely won't be able to kill Huang Tian in a short time, but I can still kill Huang Shaoshan. Chen Shang would never let these people who wanted to kill him off, especially the father and son duo like Huang Shaoshan, who were extremely despicable. The Dao Mark Dan was given to them by their Fire Reverent School as a reward for the celebration of the Heavenly Dao. Chen Shang had obtained it with his own abilities, but they were unwilling to let it go. Seeing that Chen Shang was selling it, they had come to make trouble. Furthermore, they had been spreading rumors everywhere previously, trying to embarrass Chen Shang. Chen Shang didn't dare to be so arrogant right now, because Fire Reverent School was already very shameless. He dared to do such a shameless thing in public. He made a trip to the Demon Forest and exchanged 200 portions of Dao Mark Dan's medicinal ingredients from there. The Elder Tree also knew about Chen Zhang's matter at the Divine Void City, and now that he saw that Chen Shang was fine, he was a lot more relieved. This was because they needed the energy gathering beads that Chen Shang provided in order to refine the Qiwan Dan. The Fang family's Qiwan Dan was already heavily affected. Even if the Fang family were to lower the price, it would be difficult to save it. This was because if they were to lower the price, the Demon Forest side would also lower the price. From the looks of it, the Fang family is already prepared to take action against us. If it was just against one of the Fang family, we are not afraid, but we do not know if the Fire Reverent School will intervene. The Elder Tree said. Right now, the Fang family must have realized something. They knew that was not the only person refining the Qiandan, because the number of Qiandan was increasing. Furthermore, after Chen Shang was injured, they had no evidence against him. What the Fang family hated the most was that now, there were more and more king-level Qiandan. Fang Heng and Fang Daqi, who had bet Qiandan and Chen Shang back then, hated Chen Shang even more, because they were often scolded at by the clan elders. Now, they were also thinking of a way to save them. What if Fire Reverend School interferes? Chen Shang was safe in Demon Forest. He drank a cup of fruit juice and licked his tongue. We can only go all out against them. Elder Tree said, if our entire Demon Forest fights with them, the final result will be a mutual destruction. Let's see if they dare to or not, since we are not afraid. If I had a little more time, I would have been able to overturn them all by myself. Chen Shang snorted. Little brother, I advise you not to go to Divine Sky City, it is even more impossible for the Fire Dao Divine Place to return. Our place is also in danger. The Elder Tree said. Then where to? Chen Shang asked. I'm not familiar with this place, Elder Tree, you can recommend me a place. I know of a safe place. The Elder Tree replied, you should be very familiar with the Eternal Life Native Bank. Chen Shang nodded his head. He had not received the 1 billion jade money that he won at the last Heavenly Mystery. Eternal Life Native Bank is very safe. Chen Shang asked. Of course not, it's a place the Eternal Life Native Bank can help you go to that is called Eternal Life City. It's said that you won't die in there, and it's very orderly. It's just that it requires 10 million jade money to buy a pass. The Elder Tree said. Really? Chen Shang had never heard Chu Hongqing talk about such a thing. Why would I lie to you? You can go to Demon Forest and ask. The Elder Tree said. When Chen Shang came to the Eternal Life Native Bank, he had asked Chu Hongqing about it on the way there, but he had never heard of such a place. The last time I won against the jade money, I came to exchange. Chen Shang took out a jade piece. You must be Chen Shang. Although you fake your name to be Yunfei, but you still suppressed yourself in the end, so we will also give you jade money. Here, 1 billion jade money. A young man at the counter said with a smile. Chen Shang had to admit that this Eternal Life Native Bank was indeed very mysterious. With so many jade money stored inside, if they wanted to keep these jade money, they would definitely have a very powerful strength. Oh right, I want to go to Eternal Life City. How do I go? Chen Shang asked. Oh, we usually only invite people at the 6th level of Dao Dan realm or above. The man laughed, then took out a crystal ball and said, let me see what cultivation you have now. Put your hands on it. Chen Shang placed his hands on it, and 2 white dots of light appeared inside the crystal ball. You are currently only at the 2nd level of Dao Yuan realm, which is not enough. The man shook his head. Chen Shang remembered that Chu Hongqing was at the 7th stage of the Dao Dan realm, but he was not invited. Although I am not at the 6th level of the Dao Dan realm, I am indeed a rather good alchemist. You should not act according to the level of your cultivation, Chen Shang said. For example, Fire Reverend School Leader's son, Huang Shaoshan, was only at the 2nd level of the Dao Dan realm. However, because he was the son of the Fire Reverend School Leader, we let him in. That's true, the man nodded. That little bastard is also inside. Chen Shang asked anxiously. Chapter 2420. Chen Shang really wanted to pinch Huang Shaoshan to death right now, so when he heard Huang Shaoshan's name, he had a huge reaction. The man was naturally aware of the hatred between Chen Shang and the Fire Reverend School. He smiled and said, you cannot have private duels when entering the Eternal Life City. I understand. Then can I go in now? Can I sell my pills after I enter? Chen Shang asked again. To be able to enter the Eternal Life City, he was definitely the rich one, he would definitely be able to earn a lot by selling pellets inside. Of course you can sell pills. Fire Reverend School, Fang family and Trian tribe are all selling pills, but you need to pay taxes to our Eternal Life Native Bank. For example, if you can sell 1 billion jade money, you have to pay 100 million. Of course, your taxes are not for nothing, you can get our protection inside. The man said. If that's the case, then the Eternal Life City is not big. If it's just a small city, then there will be many pill sellers. They have a lot of competitiveness. Chen Shang asked again. You don't have to worry about that, although the Eternal Life City has just been opened, there are a lot of people inside. They are all from different regions and our Eternal Life Native Bank is spread out very widely, all of the people we invited have status and status. The man laughed. How many jade moneys do you need? Chen Shang asked. Your words. You need 500 million, because you are special. If you were invited by us, 10 million would be enough. The man said. You must be trying to scam me. Chen Shang laughed. Are you joking? You have paid 500 million jade money and you can freely enter and exit the Eternal Life City. Furthermore, your identity will be even more respected and you will be able to enter many places easily. The man said again. Here, Chen Shang only wanted to quickly meet Huang Shaoshan. Even if he could not fight, he had to reprimand him. Alright, here is the jade token for you to come in and out. Oh right, do you have any storage magic treasure with you that can hold people within? If there is anyone inside, enter the Eternal Life City and don't let them come out. Once they find you, the consequences will be severe. The man gave Chen Shang a jade plate. Chen Shang released Chu Hongqing and said, she is at the 7th level of the Daodan realm. 10 million jade money should be enough, right? Enough. Chen Shang helped Chu Hongqing turn in 10 million jade money a year, and Chu Hongqing also received a jade token. Follow me. The man brought Chen Shang and Chu Hongqing to the underground stone room of the native bank. There was a transmission array there. Chen Shang and Chu Hongqing entered the transmission array and were teleported away in the blink of an eye. Very quickly, Chen Shang and Chu Hongqing arrived at the Eternal Life City. They were in the same transmission array. Not bad. Chen Shang looked around. The buildings here were all very impressive. There were hundreds of floors of stone towers, and also some relatively short wooden buildings. There were mountains and water in here, and from time to time, a group of birds would fly across the sky. I should enter the ring. I still need to concoct pills. Chu Hongqing chuckled. You can start by strolling around by yourself. Chu Hongqing entered the serene jade ring. Chen Zhang's own jade tablet was purple while Chu Hongqing's was white. He too did not know what this purple jade tablet signified. At this moment, a youth ran over in a hurry. The youth was thin and tender, and his clothes were very tidy. His young face was filled with smiles. Chen Shang, Master Shen, right? The youth laughed. I am Sun Jun, Eternal Life Native Bank has sent me to receive Master Shen. Chen Shang looked at the purple jade medallion in his hand, and immediately understood that the purple jade medallion meant his identity as an elder. I spent a lot of jade money to get in, you guys can't afford to just eat and sleep. Chen Shang asked. It's all within 1 or 2 years, and the ones that eat are the best ones. They're in the Immortal restaurant, that one. Sun Jun pointed to the tallest white jade tower, which was several hundred stories high. Not bad, the money wasn't spent in vain. Chen Shang nodded his head in satisfaction. Let's go. Sun Jun immediately released a horse carriage and invited Chen Shang up. He then drove the carriage towards the Immortal Tower. Sun Jun, what does my purple jade token represent? Besides being a bag of food and shelter, is there any other good use for it? Chen Shang asked. Uncle Shen, there are many benefits to being able to sit in the front row of the Eternal Fragrance Pavilion and listen to the beautiful ladies of the Eternal Fragrance Pavilion singing and playing. You can also sit in the front row and freely enter and exit the Eternal Fragrance Pavilion. Is that all? Chen Shang felt that this was too ordinary. Of course, if you encounter any danger, you can use a jade plate to contact the experts of the Eternal Life City. It's just so. Chen Shang looked at the purple jade tablet, and then put it away. When they arrived at the front door of the Immortal restaurant, Sun Jun brought Chen Shang in. When they went in, Chen Shang felt that there were many terrifying auras in the Immortal restaurant. Previously, LV Ying had told them that this world was extremely grand, but the Fire Dao Divine Place was located in a very small area. In other words, this Eternal Life City could very well be one of the rankers that had gathered in many different regions. Master Shen, the Pavilion Master of the Eternal Fragrance Pavilion is playing the zither right now. Do you want to go in and take a look? That Pavilion Master is really beautiful, and she is also extremely powerful. Master Shen, the Pavilion Master of the Eternal Fragrance Pavilion is playing the zither right now. Sun Jun said. Alright, let's go in and take a look. Chen Shang didn't have anything to do now, so he followed Sun Jun to the Eternal Fragrance Pavilion. The Eternal Fragrance Pavilion was also on top of the Immortal Deity restaurant. Strangely, after entering, it seemed like they had gone to another space. There was a beautiful lake here, and a 3-story tall elegant building was right beside the lake. That was Eternal Fragrance Pavilion. Strange, isn't this playing a zither? Why is it so hot? Chen Shang asked curiously after he entered, and immediately saw that on the stage in front of him, there were 2 people sparring pill refining. It's actually that little bastard Huang Shaoshan, Chen Shang thought. There were dozens of rows of seats in this spacious hall. There were only a few people in the first 5 rows, but the dozens of rows behind them were all filled. Sun Jun, didn't you say that there was a peerless beauty playing the zither? Why are there 2 men refining pills on top of the zither? Chen Shang walked in and said hoarsely. Sun Jun also felt this was strange, but he didn't dare to say anything at the moment because the people here were all very strong. Everyone was quietly watching. When Chen Shang suddenly spoke, everyone heard him, and his voice was very loud. Just when everyone was frowning, they realized that Chen Shang had a purple jade tablet in his hands, and was relieved, because those who had purple jade tablets were all my lord.